sudi, pjevat ćemo ljudi. Ne boj se rogova ni lažnih bogova, šta nam mogu lanjski snjegovi. Ne boj se tragova ričućih hlabova, šta će crni oblak planini. Kad zapjevam partija mi sudi, neka sudi, pjevat ćemo ljudi. Ne boj se rogova ni lažnih bogova, šta nam mogu lanjski snjegovi. Ne boj se tragova ričućih hlabova, šta će crni oblak planini.
Ljudi moji, welcome, PodroomTV, episode 10, season 2. Even though really it should be episode 9, I think I skipped one between 8 and 10, so it should have been episode 8 last
that
week,
right?
something like that. So I think we have gone one
look,
episode ahead.
I was just looking here and I go, what episode is it? It's got season 2, number 7. That was on the 25th of
I think
May.
we jumped to 9 from there.
Well, I haven't written the notes since the 25th of May, so that's how organised I am.
So probably in episode 3. Ali, fingers crossed. I've tinkered a little bit with the audio, so I've gone now to a dynamic audio to see if it picks up a little bit better, because it's been a bit scratchy of recent times, but we'll see how it goes. Give us your feedback, guys. Ako možete. But welcome again, episode 9/episode 10, PodroomTV. We're back for another fortnightly episode, which is now going to be regular. Spolge every 2 weeks rather than every week, particularly after the week we've had this week. Lucky we come back at all.
Yeah.
I didn't want to živit on Wednesday, let alone turn up and do a podcast on a Sunday. But what do you do, mate? How's your week been, mate?
I think it was the same as everyone else's weekend. Friday was a tough day. But it was interesting. I mean, you and I saw you straight away. First person I saw when I got the
When you
sunshine
walked
was
in.
you there at the door, and it was good. I go, okay, there's a friendly face straight away, and there was about 400 or 500 other friendly faces there as well. So the turnout there was absolutely magnificent.
Madness.
Walked in there, straight to the bar naturally, and didn't leave there for a little while.
Who are some of the characters you were hanging around with, Spolge, there that made you stay a little bit longer than what you anticipated?
Look, I'll give you a little hint. Maybe the Bayer brothers, maybe.
Maybe got something to do with it?
They're there. There was also probably 2/3 of Major Minor there as well. They didn't want to leave. Or 3/5, I should say.
Should have just had rehearsal.
Probably should have just had rehearsal there, but there was a few people there.
It was a great turnout, and in most clubs as well across Australia. We saw some of the footage coming in over social media, King Tom and Western Australia and Gold Coast and everywhere. Naš narod se skuplja. It was a bloody amazing turnouts in the city. Hrvatski Vjesnik organised as well, the Melbourne CBD, and that looked like a decent turnout.
It looked
there
like
as
a
well.
very good turnout. Yeah.
And it would have probably spilled out into the streets of Melbourne if they had a won. Ali, things as they stand, Portugal remain. The referees from the day have been sent home, apparently, so they are no longer participating in the tournament. But what do you do, man? It's not only Crow. I think some of the other smaller nations have been fairly hard done by, because it's basically in the interest of FIFA and the World Cup and everyone else to keep these big teams in. The big names, they sell cans of Coke and fucking Budweiser and whatever else they're trying to sell in sponsorship. So, you know, we're a small market. They need the big markets, and that's what sometimes. But we'll get to that.
Well said. Like the
Što te muči, Spolge?
We've brought this up in the last couple of episodes, but one thing is, some animals are more equal than others, and we are one of the less equal ones. From game one, you know, from the first pen against Harry Kane, which was saved beautifully by Liver. No, take it again because he's 1 millimeter off the line.
Yep.
And he just continued on from there. You know, soft pens to unbelievable decisions, but we kept going. We kept going through it. This one had 3 disallowed goals. let's look at it. All right, fine. The first one was offside, no problem. Second one, that Sucic one, I think it's arguable.
Yep.
Because when you look at the replay, I don't know if anyone's looked at that one, but I don't think Sucic was offside. Whoever was on the up the top on the left-hand side, whoever that was, he was offside. But Sucic definitely wasn't offside. Then they came 10 minutes later with their animation, and then all of a sudden Sucic is like half a meter offside. Yeah, okay, whatever. No worries. You take it. What do you do? Like that second goal, two defenders, Pogačić and Guardiola, it's a bit weak, you know,
Yeah.
on that header. Like who do you blame other than ourselves? And then the last one, I don't know. It's been well documented, but was it offside when he first left the boot? No, it wasn't. When he touched Matanovic's hair, apparently, then it was offside. But then you'd think that becomes null and void when he touched the defender's head. Anyway, so he plays him on. I don't know. I mean, other people, you've been watching the game for a long time. But I've been watching it enough to know something was amiss there. You know,
keep up with the rules. This whole when there's you need now two defenders if the keeper's in front of the defenders or something like that to be behind the ball.
There's always going to be two players behind the ball. You assume that the keeper's one of them.
I hate soccer.
Yeah,
and I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah,
what do you do? Ali.
But there was one lady there that was behind the goals who basically, I think we echoed her sentiments there, and I think it was about 4 million of us, actually even more.
We did echo at Spolge because you know what?
Что ты мужик? Что ты мужик?
There you go. She was saying, Dobro jutro, Surya.
Zdravo druže.
I thought she was from Melbourne. She looks so familiar, that Jenna, that lady, that I swear to God, I thought she was from here. I felt like I'd seen her 2 weeks ago somewhere. I can't remember where or exactly who it was, but it looked like an American. What, you? You. But
I saw that on the screen, and I think we all agreed.
Up the morning perfectly.
Yeah, and people said she was going to be famous, and now she's definitely famous because she's entered on. She's become part of our Što te muči.
That's right. Folklore. She is our new pin-up girl for Što te muči. But we'll go into more Što te muči later on, sure. Because luckily enough, we have a guest in-house this evening.
We do, and I love it when we got a guest in the house.
That's right. Enough with the heaters on. It's bloody freezing in Melbourne. If you're in Melbourne, you know, but if you're not in Melbourne, it was lead in the outside. I'm telling you now. I was at Dinamo pretty much from midday, and it was not too bad. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it got
colder than a FIFA referee's heart outside.
But our special guest this evening, as was mentioned on our Instagram and Facebook pages, is none other. Again, that's the third time of that. None other.
Banana boat.
Our very own Tonchi Prusats. Tonch, join us, mate. Come into the hot seat, son.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Welcome
To the Podroom, mate.
Have a seat. Take a load off.
Welcome to the Podroom.
How are we, guys?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good.
I think we're all the same. I think, just.
Now, I must say, I was absolutely pooing myself at the thought of coming here. I was very reluctant because I know miracles do happen here, sometimes not good miracles. People come here with 2 legs and leave legless. There's no stomach checker, you know, so, yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But what I have done in the meantime, in the chat, I believe it's on both the YouTube and Facebook channels if you are watching. Hopefully, but it keeps disappearing. We're reloading the page. You can see it on the screen now, but there is a link if you want to call in and tell us Što tebe muči. If you want to have your say and you don't mind jumping online, jump on board, tell us, say whatever you want about the swords, you say whatever you want about anyone and anything. But it's should be now on the YouTube and Facebook channels for you to be able to click on that link and join us at some point during the course of the evening. At any time, jump on, we'll throw you straight in. But Tonchi, we all know Tonchi from a number of, what would you call it, incarnations, many hats you've worn and you continue to wear, but many of us know us probably most from Hrvatski Vjesnik.
Yeah.
How long have you been with the Vjesnik for overall?
on and off since '96. My God, that's
30
really going
years.
back. Yeah. Then it was about '98. We started with the new generation. That was the start of.
Hang on, but when you were doing the CSA pages, they had that. That was earlier
That was
than 96.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
96.
Yeah,
That was even earlier. I
mid-90s.
was
No,
present.
I remember you were there. I was still in high school.
Was it pretty early? Than
You
that?
were writing articles in
94.
Didn't
when
want to
we were-
sound that old, but
I was still in high
thanks,
school.
far out,
I wasn't in high school in 96.
Everything gets blurred in those. The '90s went like that, didn't it? Just
They
like
did.
now.
No,
And you kind of, it's true. You sort of think to yourself, happened in '96, what happened in '94, '93. That whole decade was such a blur.
Yeah.
CSA, isn't it? That was
That's
the
right.
94.
I remember those
so
CSA
much.
pages.
My committee and I, 94, we were already doing the English
There you
pages
go.
with yourself and Pokoni Tom
Yeah,
Stuff.
see, you would have started a little bit earlier.
We
maybe.
used to type the articles,
Yeah.
clip
Cut
out
'em.
of whatever, cut them, glue them onto that grid paper,
Yeah.
walk them
Run
across
across
the car
that quadrangle.
And Tom said it has to be in by 10 o'clock, or whatever it was. We had to
Yeah.
have it in by a certain time and hand it to him, and then he'd stick it into the rest of those pages. The publisher would come,
Yeah.
I know, take it away and print it from that.
Do you remember the
Just
days
cut and
when,
paste.
and if it rained, or the ink would blur, so you had to have an umbrella over the bloody thing and carry it over the thing.
And every article we did was in a different font because there was no internet, there was no one Microsoft
No.
Word, it was just shit everywhere. Like photos, we'd cut little pictures out and print pictures of Chetniks and whatever and cut them and stick them and glue them on. It was such a way, but
amazing.
compared to the VSNIC now, over 30 years, so from when you started to where it's come.
It's just changed dramatically, and the whole industry, the whole journalism industry has completely changed. And back in the day, it was more like a bulletin, like a community bulletin. And look, poor Coiny Tom, he had the foresight, I guess, and we're not going to hide. He looked at Il Globo, we looked at Neos Cosmos, had meetings with these guys. and
Srpski
so-
Glas,
yeah,
Novosti.
yeah. No, they never had it. They never had. That's why they're never around. I don't think they're around because they didn't go down that next path of looking at the next generation. And look, at that time, you had to sort of think outside the square. Like how are we going to engage this next generation? The supplements sort of started, and you had a few of the oldies, at the time complaining, na englesko me ovo, hrvatske novine, and that kind of stuff, and it did continue. But when their kids started, taking their old man or the old girl's Viesnik and started to read, then they had to buy 2 copies. They were the boom days.
Što ću vam to na engleskom? To je sve bullshit. Rubbish.
But it started so many things. And look at nowadays, Dave Davutovic, who oversees, he's Bruce Media, oversees the Viesnik. Isn't it funny? He got his first start in journalism at the Viesnik circa 1999, 2000. And I was the one that gave him an opportunity through the Melbourne Knights. They had the Knights Army,
that's right.
the match day programs.
That's right.
And now, sort of fast forward 25 odd years, when he approached me, was it last year, whatever, a couple of years ago, to get back involved, it was like life had gone full circle, wasn't it? But it has. It's just gone just incredibly. But, look, right now, I have to say a big acknowledgement to the previous editor, George Sablak, who was here.
Yes.
People don't realize just how much of a savior to the community that man was. If it wasn't for him stepping in around about 2010, 2011, when I made the difficult decision I had to pull away for the betterment of the Viesnik, if I had stayed there with everything that I was involved in at the time, Viesnik needed someone who's going to give it 100% and save it. And he came on board, made some tough cost-cutting measures.
Oh,
back
yeah.
then.
The
It wasn't
office at the
easy.
Clifton Hill was moved to basically from home or
From
PO
home.
box. And
A lot of the production was done in Croatia where it was cheaper. So that was really hard as well. And you had to make some tough decisions. And then along comes Ivan Filipovic, the end of that decade in 2018 or whatever. And if it wasn't for Ivan, once again,
It would have ended there.
yeah. So we've always, as a community, we've always had our backs to the wall. We've always had to fight against something, adversity or overcome something. And look what we've happened, it's all culminated with the World Cup, just a couple of days ago. But at the same time, it's that resilience that breeds that no one can understand us.
No.
Absolutely no one can understand us. But it's great stories. We've got these great stories, and the Viesnik and a lot of the other publications and this and that over the years have done one thing is keep those stories, Now in the digital age, we now have to go the next step and somehow make those stories not forgotten but accessible. There's so much information today. How do you sometimes you don't go on the portals, you don't go on viesnik.com.au for a few days and you come back and there's 20 articles. Where do you start? It's like sometimes too much, but everyone's going to find something that they like, don't they?
Yeah, and you talked about like them, such a Gornjolly, and they said like, oh, what do you need it in English language? But remember, even preceding the new generation, that there was the Clocker magazine, which was a
Yeah.
massive hit. And I used to hang out for
Yeah.
it. If I'd go to mass or whatever, just hang out for the clock. And it started out for free, and obviously it was never going to survive that way. Everything went 50 cents and whatever went, but it was brilliant. And some of the articles were absolutely brilliant, and topics, and you'd learn so much, and and that's I suppose you carried on from there as well. Yeah.
Well, look, Clockham was where I got my sort of writing kind of gig, and I was never a journalist in the sense that I'd završio školu za to. My training was all on the job, so to speak. So Clockham provided a lot of opportunities for people all around Australia to get their first bit of taste of journalism, wasn't it? Whether it be a feature, whether it be some sort of an opinion piece, whether it be something else. And for some people, they moved on to bigger and better things and what you're not. But that's another one of those, publications, Otpor, Spremnost, that are no longer around.
The best.
Remember
the best. There's so many of these things, and it captures a history, captures a journey. Now we talk about, like the whole World Cup, and the end destination was crap. But the journey leading up to it was amazing, even up to the very, very last game. And that's what our community and our history has been. Just the other day, my wife and I were up in Melbourne for a 2-day staycation, that's, no soccer and all of that mid-season. And I went to the Immigration Museum. I haven't been there for years. I reckon 2010 when there was a Croatian festival there. And look, it was really interesting. There's a couple of things there. Ilya Shutalo's book's still there. And, but overall, we as a community are so underrepresented in those kind of things. Yeah. And there's a football display, there's this, there's that, whatever. And I walked out of there and I'm thinking, what our community needs is an actual museum, a heritage museum. Wow. But here's the problem. Where's it going to be? Who's going to run it? All of that kind of stuff. And sometimes we as a community, I think we need to start thinking outside the box. And at the same time, we need to be supporting each other. And I don't think we do that enough of it, and it takes a lot of effort to try and get some idea up and running. And then the project that's going to eventually sort of realize it. In some cases, it takes years, sometimes it takes decades. But I think Tona Fali, something like that's going to pay homage to, this is a museum here, Mike. Gosh, if I could get the camera and just go around here, every little artifact here tells a story, type of thing.
And it's something we've actually talked about before, saying like a lot of the soccer clubs, or we keep going back to soccer because our community revolves around soccer so much. Yeah. But you go to Melbourne Croatia or Melbourne Knights, and then you don't see that history. You don't see that it's really a 2-time Australian champion because it hasn't been out. They're starting to do work on that and putting that out for the supporters, which is fantastic. I saw Adelaide Croatia built a whole cabinet there at the entrance because they said it's time to honour our history. They said, we're the oldest Croatian soccer club. We need to show that off. Yeah. And they started doing that. And I think every club needs to take a leaf out of their book and start showing that. Yeah. But I think you're right. You need to go beyond just soccer and talk about just the Croatian influence in this country, starting off from, pre-Bonagil, or even, what was that in the 1850s? There was that movement that was saying the first Croat in Australia, which I think became debunked or whatever. Yeah. But it was like they were saying 1852 or something, or whatever the family
Jump
was.
Ship from some Austrian ship or whatever it was.
But there were Croats that even arrived before that. Yeah. But it's something that needs to be documented and shared.
Well, even when you talk about the soccer, all right, we always go back to that. That's our default. But it's almost like, here's a great example why a lot of Australian, 3rd generation, 4th generation Australian Croatians are connecting more to the Vatreni than they are with the Socceroos. And one of the reasons is you go to the Vatreni, they've got surnames that are like ours. They come from maybe the places where our parents are from. So we connect with that. Apart from Popovic, what connection is there with the Socceroos? And that we could go in a whole different story there. But you know what? Someone said this really well. Our soccer clubs today are like in the old Roman days. Used to have the Romans watching the gladiators. And the gladiators was there for entertainment. Yeah. And they were slaves, or they were stranci, or they were this or that. Our soccer clubs have almost become that. Our Croatians are running it in the committee. They're working the bar. They're working the kitchen. They're watching teams of, with all due respect, some clubs have got maybe a few Croatians, but majority are non-Croatians. So you're watching these people playing at your entertainment. But empires fall. The Roman Empire, how mighty it might have been, fell. We don't want our empire, the Croatian community, to fall. So we need something tangible. You know, we love watching our own. And I, Hvala Bogu, have an opportunity to commentate as well as do other things. And when I commentate, I usually commentate just the Croatian teams, yeah? And when I do that, like, I think Football Victoria loves it because I can pronounce the names properly. And they've got a little bit of a background behind what's going on, and they'll enjoy that. But when you're commentating and you're focusing on our players, you love watching it. When they do something great, it's fantastic. When they don't do something great, you know, you're pissed off. But at the same time, it's our person, you know. And it's great when you're watching our clubs do well, but it's even better when you're watching our kids at our clubs do well. It's nice.
Yeah, Football Victoria avid watchers of PodroomTV as well. They're big fans of ours, especially after last week or 2 weeks ago. But I was going to bring up the fact that you do commentate Football Victoria games at the moment, NPL games. But also before that, you've got a long history and been involved with North Geelong for a long time and the Melbourne Knights back in the halcyon days. And just, you know, being a big part of the community, you're in and amongst it. Now, it was a question that I posed to Smolik 2 weeks ago. I said, in that 2006 golden Socceroos generation, there were 7 Croats, arguably 7.5 with Bresciano, but I think his mother, they said his mother was Croatian.
Mum was Croatian.
But was she Croatian or was she just an Italian from Istra? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever it was, but we could say 7 for sure. But you really could have fielded a whole squad of people that had got some sort of Croatian background. Anyway, you could have easily, and they would have been more than competitive. Now we're living in a day and age where in Victoria, how many Victorian soccer players of Croatian extraction could you fill up one NPL team? Not a VPL one or VPL, one NPL team. I think you'd be struggling. Now, being involved with soccer in that for the last few decades, is there something that you think you can pinpoint? Is there something that we've been missing out on? Is it just a sign of the times? What is it?
I think we're not catering enough for everyone. You know, not everyone's gonna be a Joe Šimunić or a Mark Viduka or Josip Skorko. And I think a lot of kids get to that 15, 16, 17, they realize they're not going to be good. They're not going to be professionals. They lose interest. But then there's also within our own kind of distractions, that sort of stuff, the babes, the boobs, the booze, that sort of thing. That has an element of it as well. But it's also sometimes the parents can be a bit, we push things a bit too hard. We sometimes push a little bit too hard our agenda. Maybe the kids aren't right for that. But then when the kids fall out of love with the sport, there's nothing there left for them. We need more. We need more social clubs. We need more community clubs. Remember back good old days when we used to have, Mostar, Vukovar, Tornado.
That's right. Tottenham, Zagreb.
Yeah, Tottenham. So we catered for everyone. North Geelong Hacks. When I remember, that was one of the best moments when the North Geelong Hacks used to come up to Glenroy Split back in the day, and it was like playing. Well, it was just pure Zajebancija. But you know what? Out of the side effect of that Zajebancija, we loved it. And we weren't good. We were never going to make it, at A-League level, NSL level at the time. But we ended up doing well in our competitions, whether it was futsal.
Yeah, you stayed together.
You stayed together. And you know what? There's nothing like playing for the badge, isn't it? Yeah. And I think there's been so many stories of, for whatever reason, Croatian people leaving Croatian clubs. Being burnt, being this, being that. There has to be a bit of resilience as well, but at the same time, we do need to look after all facets of our community. And once upon a time, our community was just soccer, folklore, crkva. Nowadays, it's a little bit more diverse, hvala Bogu, but we need more of it, because where are our basketball clubs? Where are our tennis clubs? Yeah. Where are our rukomet clubs? Yeah.
Water polo.
Water polo. I don't know if I'm right, but I think the Serbians do it a little bit better in that they do have water polo clubs and rukomet clubs. Look at the rukometni movement here in Australia. I think it's run pretty much, not run, but the vast majority of the better players and coaches are Serbs. But we're better. We're like rukometaši, Croatian. Look at what was it, the under 18?
Just won that.
Yeah. Paulisti, yeah. Where's our water polo teams? Where's tennis? We've got so much talent, but we don't cater for all of that because everything goes onto certain focuses that might be, I don't know,
Thank you. Apologies for if you could hear that thing. I don't have to wash it. Here we go again. I reckon it's the washing machine now that's going. And now if we've got this dynamic mic, you're probably picking it up in the background. It's not the toilet because this thing's fucking going now for the last
you're not allowed to work on Sunday.
10 minuta. But also, Torch, back in
to
the
be
day,
honest with you, Tonchi, after you mentioned boobs, I didn't hear anything.
we'll have a look at the chat. There's a fair few already coming through the chat here. What have we got here? Peter Finca, number one, ticket holder. Good evening, boys. Sounding good. Santino Mamone. Tonchi Prosats Sina, he's written. Aidan Borg, he's also written.
He's an Italian from Geelong that knows more Croatian, I reckon, than most second and third generation Croatians.
And he's asked for Tonchi to tell him what you think of FIFA. We'll get to that.
Will get to that.
Tommy Shooter McGovern says, good evening, gents. Santino says Crows got robbed. Peter Finca saying Tonchi P legend. Same as Santino. Johnny Cash, he's got some price words to say, choice words about FIFA and VAR. Honestly, we played bad first half, but second half we should have won. Yeah, bigger. Chris Malik, Pozdrav diaspori s Murtera. So he's all the way from the island of Murter.
Can you even classify Murter an island anymore?
It's a peninsula, I
it's
guess.
it's like 25 meters away from the shore. Like, what is
That's
that?
exactly right. Johnny Cash, 8th of August, Oluja Zabava, HSP Melbourne and Melbourne Croatia Soccer Club. Ante Grabovac, your old co-host.
Oh, Ante, legend.
Pozdrav Tonchi, Robin Anthony, great publication, The Vjesnik. Some of those NSL Sydney United reviews are must-reads. Petar Fink has asked, what jersey are you wearing? Smolik. And our good friend, let me just go a bit. Danny Vujicic says, Pozdrav iz Perta, love the Guelab Croatia jersey that I'm wearing.
There you go, there's your answer. But it is a beautiful jersey.
Guelab, it is, man. It's a bit of an older one. I've got a few of them in the red and in the black, and black is usually my preferred color.
Why?
Oh, just
slimming.
It is. You'll see one of these AI generated clips I'm going to play later. It doesn't do me any justice in terms of my physique. I don't know how the hell AI must have picked up some old slicker. Stella Spoiler says, agree with you 100%, Tonchi. That was earlier.
The boobs. Boobs. I agreed with that part too.
Rob Smith, the old two fingers up for FIFA as well.
Yeah.
No,
the thumb up. Remember the old
Istanbul. My mate, I think it was my mate Bella. His old man once, he was getting road rage and the bloke will put us like this. And his old man looks, he didn't know what it was. He goes, what is sweet pet? Peter Finca, there are too many distractions for the kids, and I think they give up too easily. That's for some, yes. But
the thing that sort of puzzles me in that whole thing is it's not just our kids that are have those distractions. It's not only our kids that are on PlayStation. It's Australia. But regardless of that, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 90s, or whatever, the kids, even though they had the same distractions as the other kids, our kids seem to excel. Why do our kids? Why don't they excel anymore? That's sort of where I'm trying to get at. And it's an honest question because I honestly don't know the answer, because I think the talents out there, physically, the genetically, still got athletes out there.
Rob, people that are built. Back in the day, we had to prove ourselves. Everywhere we went, we had to prove ourselves. We didn't have a country. Everyone called us Yugoslavs. We had to prove it. I remember in year 8 having an argument, like a controlled argument, with my teacher at the den, because we were going to go to Croatia. She goes, "Oh, you're going to Yugoslavia?" "No, we're going to Croatia." There were a couple of Croatian teachers at the time. I said, "This is arguments broken all hell." Yeah. I go, "You call such and such, and you call such and such, blah blah blah." The year 8 coordinator came over and told the teacher off because he was this Tom that in the Second World War stars, whatever this and that, probably atoned for his sins. He said, he said to her, Belinda, I think her name was. The teacher, Belinda, shut up, the kid's right, blah, 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 this and that. And after that, she was tako dobra. But you know what? We weren't scared of standing up to injustice, if you know what I mean. Yeah. We had to prove ourselves. If we can somehow harness that and instill that into our kids now today, mate, they're going to be unstoppable. Who cares what the other communities, who cares what the other kids are doing? But how do you do that? You're the product of your environment usually. Yeah. And this is something that you can't expect the clubs themselves to do it, because you know what? They're at wit's end just trying to make ends meet. What we need is some sort of thing over the top, whether it's some sort of umbrella body, coordinated body, or a strategic think tank that's going to say, what can we do? What can we use now to harness? Like at the moment, we're all pissed off. but at the same time, we're proud,
Oh,
aren't we, at the Vats
very,
Venue?
very
Now,
proud.
how do we harness that into some sort of mechanism that's going to take our community to the next level? I don't have the answers, but you know what? Get a group of people together that may have that, because
Maybe
we've
it
got to
is.
do
Yeah, maybe it's that thing. Maybe it's that focus. Maybe it's that having your backs against the wall that you said earlier. You know, when you had to prove yourself, and playing for a Melbourne Croatia or Sydney Croatia or a Dynamo or what have you, at that time proved you're playing for Croatia, because there wasn't a Croatia at that
It was
time.
like your national team, basically.
And
You're
then
playing for your
we
national
got
team.
like through hard times, and then the war galvanized us even further. And then maybe things dropped off. But you brought up something else as well with the Vatreni, which just it reinvigorated that belief and the interest, especially from these younger generations. Maybe in 10 years we'll see the benefits of that pride that comes through. I don't know. I don't know, because I know it wasn't through now some genius, you know, or some soccer progress and that, when it was people's dads that were training them. That it just came down to genetics and playing constantly, you know, being on the ball constantly. But we'll see what happens.
But
I don't know. It's just,
Tommy Governor asked, will Ante from St Albans be making a comeback? That's another one of the hats he could pop on if anyone remembers back in the day. Ante from St Albans, popular character.
Comedy of today is different to comedy of yesterday. Yeah. Well,
it'll be like Wogs out of work. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you just can't. You look at all those comedians. I saw something about Paul Hogan and something about Nick Giannopoulos and this and that. Do you reckon their comedy of then could you know
No
get
chance.
happen today?
Kingswood Country came up yesterday on YouTube. A little clip of Kingswood Country.
Yeah.
No way.
No
You can barely
chance.
find it on YouTube.
No
Lex
chance.
the Swine Marinos. Yeah, leave your money on the fridge wog.
Yeah.
No, you can't get away with that. Even if it's comedy, you still can't get away with it.
But that comedy was all about hanging shit on others, but also on yourself. Yeah. These days you can't hang shit on anyone. You hang shit on yourself, you're offending yourself. You know, you can't do that. You know, someone else will get offended that you offended yourself and not them.
I think
Sushi Mango's stepped into that void a little bit, and
they're offending people. Well, if they do that,
they're doing pretty good. That Big Vicenzo, you seen that guy walks around? They're like a Chapel Street Italian, whatever he is. He's quite funny. He's getting pretty popular. Then Vlad, whatever cousin Vlad, he's been on all sorts of podcasts now. I've sort of switched off. He's rants as well. He's gone on. He's going to be too Balkan. He talk. Pasha, baš.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really find it funny.
Sanja Franjic, pozdrav guys. Great work for our community. Big fan of Tonči. Great work with the Vjesnik. Steve Nemeth, they were speaking of him earlier. Ante, do you have room for a Slavonska tamburica na Vukovarski vodotoranj? We'll find room, Steve. Veliki pozdrav to Steve Nemeth and the Nemeth family. I hope you're doing well, Steve. Samo naprijed. And he also pozdrav to Sanja Franjic, pozdravi Frenkija. Joseph Spehar, aside from sport, clubs should open the doors to give kids a start in all aspects of the club, from social media, management, hospitality, etc. That's one I want to touch on. The group now, the cohort of interns. Is that what you'd call them now? Cadetships, interns at the Vjesnik?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd call them, that you could call them interns, but I'd call them a valuable part of the Vjesnik team, you know. Some of them are amazing. Some of them, and we're still looking for more people from different parts of the country, but it's a classic example of give someone an opportunity and you'll be surprised at what they do. And some of these are a little bit older people, some of them are a little bit younger people, but it doesn't matter. They've all got a little bit of passion for their own, whatever it is, their own kind of community, their own Zajednica, but they've also got above that, they want to contribute. That's what it is. They want to contribute to the community that at the moment is the Vjesnik. Now, you talk about how much changed. These days we've got, social media, we've got the magazine, the monthly, we've got the digital. So I look after the digital, head of digital content. Then there's someone else, Matt Wingley, who's not even Croatian, who's Dave 2IC. This man's incredible. Absolutely incredible, the passion that he has now for this community and the culture, and he's learning himself. Like for those people that were there at the Royal Melbourne Hotel the other day, he was comparing it, and he does an incredible job. And I asked him, he's got a really good backstory about how he fell in love with the Croatian culture and the community and the passion above all. Then we've got young Emily Martic, who looks after the social media side of things, and her parents are very, very well known in the Croatian community. And now Emily's carving out her own identity, and the girl's amazing. What she does behind the scenes with all of the things, and sometimes these interns, we get things wrong, and that's going to happen. We get sometimes, things that would probably thought was right is wrong, and that's going to happen. But you know what? If you keep on encouraging these people, they're going to take it to a whole new level. What we need now is to somehow, unfortunately, monetize it. How do you monetize something that's out in the public domain? Because Ivan Filipovic and Kathy have done an amazing job. But it's not fair that we've got this one family of very benevolent, Croatians, businessmen, successful that they may be, but that we're almost reliant on them to keep some of these things in the community going. We need the community to step up. How? Simply buy a paper, advertise in the Viesnik, share. If you're on social media, share those articles, because every time you read it and you share it on your profile, guess what? Someone else is exposed to it, whether they read it or not. But that's part of that, being a disciple of the community. That's That's something that we felt we were back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. We felt we were ambassadors for the community, for the Croatian culture. You go out and work amongst a group of Aussies and you want to show them what being Croatian is all about. Sometimes you put them off, but other times they end up marrying into the Croatian community and things like that. And that's what it is. That's that magic word. If we can now recapture being ambassadors of the culture, ambassadors of the community, because we've got to remember, guys, our Croatia, unfortunately, isn't in Croatia. We're considered stranci over there. Our Croatia is this, our communities. And if we don't kind of, if we don't push this community, we'll lose it very, very quickly.
Well, that's actually a question. It's a good thing you brought up, and a pertinent topic, I think, as well. How long can you remain a Croat, or how many generations can you remain a Croat in another country, in Australia, in America, in the diaspora? How long does it remain legitimate? How long does it remain vibrant? We're now, 3 or 4 generations post-war? I don't know. What would we be? Maybe the 4th generation now?
Yeah, 60s. Some of them came out in the 50s, 60s.
Let me ask you this question. Who decides that?
I don't know who decides. I'm just thinking, is there a certain trajectory? Because I think like America sort of was like a generation or two in front of us. And from what I know of the American diaspora, they've sort of dwindled, they've assimilated a lot more maybe than we have. Canadians less so. Canadians probably, similar to us.
What I'm saying is kind of like more of a case of like, we within ourselves determine what we are. And no one can take that away from us at the end of the day. And if you encourage enough people to explore their Croatianism, whatever, then you know what? Somewhere down the track, they will click on. There was a really good story I did of this woman who, her father was Croatian, mother I think was Dutch, happens to be in Geelong, grew up in Ballarat. Never grew up as a Croatian, but in her father's dying days, he told a story of how he fled Yugoslavia in a rowboat with friends and this and that. And this ended up in a story, a novel. And the lady, Trisha Bulic from Geelong, came up with this book, Luka's Escape. And I did this story in the Viesnik. I was absolutely fascinated because here I'm at work. I've got this work. I'm very flexible. I can sort of just scroll and see, investigate stories that are, obscure, because I love obscure stories. And, this woman sort of all of a sudden now, because of those stories, started doing research and this and that, started connecting in her 60s, connecting with her Croatian background type of thing. That's one example, one story. Whereas we who have been in the Croatian community, we sometimes take it for granted, And like what we got to do is, once again, that ambassador thing, open the doors, let as many people in. And the Viesnik these days, you don't know who's reading. That's the thing. You don't know who's reading it. And you might be sending out into the internet, whatever, a story that someone picks up and something clicks and they decide, we're a global village today. They decide, I want to go to Croatia. I want to get in, what's the word, with my roots, or, I can't speak the language and this, that. We do a good enough job of, let's bring people in, whether it's through music and yourself, whether it's through music or whether it's through all of the different aspects of our community that we do so wonderfully well. We need to now start doing things that are going to bring in people. And you know what? We got how many non-Croatians have we got that are part of the Croatian community? That are, in my opinion, I'm going to use an example, Jimmy Tabakis, head of Split, He's married into the Croatian community. To me, that guy's Croatian.
Really, I think he's,
Most people
Croatian
think
to
as well.
himself.
But speaking of passion and speaking of Croatians, we have now a very special guest joining us from overseas. I'm not exactly sure where he is. He was in Zaprešić overnight at the Thompson concert. He's spent many days and many, many long kilometers hiking across Velebit, and hopefully the internet between the two of us is good. And here he is, Milan Dragičević. Mile, jel se čujemo? You're on mute.
Yeah, turn your microphone on.
Turn on the microphone, ako može. Let's see
I don't
if we
know
can
if
turn
I don't know
on-
if you can even hear us because he's just
No devices. Can you put the
Could you put your tongue back in your mouth?
put the microphone? We can't hear Milzi. Is there a mic? Is there? If not, ugasi i upali and then allow microphone. I onda se možemo čuti.
Looks like a nice day there, funnily enough.
That's it.
I wonder where's he coming to us
We'll
from?
come
He's
to-
come from live.
He
from,
left Zaprešić probably after the Thompson concert at
yes.
some point,
Yep.
or this morning at the conclusion of the concert Thompson, Malison Aspava, Čovjek, and then I'm thinking heading south, maybe down towards Zadar or that particular region.
Yep.
But let's see if we can hear him now.
Hopefully
Milzi,
he
jel
is.
se čujemo? No, we've got a nice
His
top end. Lipo se počešlja tu.
potegni ako su.
That's it. We'll see if we can remove. We'll see if he can do it again. He'll have to log in again. Yeah, but Mile, interesting story. So he was born in Crow. Born in Crow, came here probably early 90s, kind of that 92, 3-ish time. And he's decided after doing a bit of training here in Melbourne over many, many months and always trying to keep fit, but trying to get extra fit so he could do the hike that he's always dreamt of doing, the Velebit. Yeah,
Yep.
so we've all seen those footage of Luka Modric as a 6-year-old goniting the ovce and those
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
corze through the rock.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
this is inaccessible. Mila's gone and done the 130-kilometer hike. Jel se sad čujemo, Milzi? Hang on, we'll see.
Yes.
Vidimo sliku again on my end. But no Milzi. We'll keep trying.
Technical difficulties on PodroomTV.
You can do it.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
You can do it. Ugasi or Pali. That's how you always fix things, isn't it? Any sort of technica.
That's the one.
But
But,
here was one. I look at some comments too from John Hodak. I know it's more work, but how about having the stories translated into English also? I think it is in English, isn't it? That story that you're talking about, Trisha Bullock.
Bullic.
And I was reading about that. It was a fascinating story, and I want to get more deeper into that one as well. And also Pozdrav iz Splita by some random number.
Random.
Here we go.
Milzi. Jel se sad čujemo, Milzi? We've got a nice top end. Bringing out your eyes. We can't hear you. Flick us
That's
a
all right.
message, Ugasi. Flick us a message and let us know how you're going, Milzi.
Oh,
Like
that
with that-
Grudovic there, like that picture of him there. Did you see with the leaves behind him? When they asked Grudovic what his favorite city is in the world, what do you like? And he go, which place is koji je najljepši grad na svijetu? On kaže Vinograd.
That's the shot. But plenty of messages today coming in. Angelina Stock, I saw a funny meme today that had the Vatreni all with shaved heads and the caption Croatian Soccer Squad 2030. So hopefully not to get the snicko going. Still in disbelief on that call. Whole Crow community need counselling after this World Cup. That is very true. Sonia Ukalovic says, hi, Lily. So Lily, if you're watching, hi. And then Lily says, hi, Sonia. Eto. It's we do our part to bring the community together
Yeah, we
via
do.
via our chat. Jesse says, so Jesse is Milan's beautiful daughter, my niece, saying he's trying to connect to Wi-Fi now. So we'll give that a crack and see how that goes.
Has this make it now that there's been more Dragičevićes on this show than any other surname?
There has pretty much. There's been now 2 times Dragičevićes, I think. Who else we got here? Every Croatian club we are there to support. So Johnny Cash, speaking about Hrvatska Stranka Prava and the ogranak that they have here in Melbourne. Dave Mlikota, regular listener, good evening. Someone's written also here for Milan Upali Ugasi.
Yes, naturally.
And APH SideQuest. Good evening, fellas.
Oh, he's
Ash
coming.
Hodgson,
Do not take the piss.
did you
Ash,
leave?
all right, do not take the
possibly-
piss. It's
'cause
still
that-
fresh. The wound
There is
still
an
open.
Under Armour hoodie and a pair of reading glasses have been left behind. If they are yours, the hoodie fits me just perfect. I reckon I might. Just chuck it over here, Taunch, that hoodie that's just hanging up here. There we go.
That's the one.
And I think you'll know why I want to keep this hoodie.
Oh, that's a Rick Slider.
I think people would probably understand why I want to keep this hoodie that Ash possibly left. So if I can keep it, mate, I'll just give me a pay ID details. I'm gonna keep that one, brother. Ali. Also, we had a message there earlier from Ante Shesto saying the Kilo Down Senior Citizens Club, the Butcher or Bocce, whatever you want to call it, Balote, have now got 198 members.
Which I am one.
And I am one. And we actually bought a third by mistake. So my dad is now also a member, I believe, of the KDSCC.
Okay.
Is that what it's called?
Will your dad actually go though?
Nah, he hates. Oh, he's had a bad experience at Norris Bank and Butcher probably about 1989, I think it was. He just goes down to visit, so he might pop in down there. But get on board. Yeah, it's $20. You get there's a barbecue every year where members are called down and that, and especially for the oldies that don't mind, they've got a bit of time, go down, have a bit of a roll. Why not, mate? They've done some great things. They've done some renovations down there to the courts. Bloody
Actually, going to go
fantastic.
down there one day. Like, been a member now for over a year, and
Exactly.
I don't
right.
think I've even been
But
within
Torch,
5
jump back
kilometers.
in. One person we saw, a golden-haired
There we go.
boy from back in the day. If anyone remembers, you'd remember the brothers Kos. The Kos brothers who used to sell the Viesnik out the front of the Clifton Hill Church, front of Olympic Park where Melbourne Croatia would play, and pretty much at any Croatian community function. You'd have the boys, the blonde boys from the north here, the Watsonia boys, would be selling the Hrvatski Viesnik back in the 80s. Adrian Kos was at Sunshine on Wednesday morning.
Oh, there you go.
Hadn't seen him. He's local.
I
We
haven't seen
live
for 30
relatively
years, I
local.
reckon.
But he was at Sunshine in the morning with his daughters there, and he was watching. So a big shout out to Adrian Kos, who was also back in the
There
day
you go.
one of the main guys selling the Viesnik in person, like it was like in the old days.
And another product of the CSA, the Croatian Students
Oh, there he is.
Association. There you go.
I actually took a
CSA
screenshot.
Viesnik,
one, yep.
and he actually made it onto this guy that I mentioned last week, Tarek the Second. Have you seen that guy's Instagram?
No, there you go.
Snapchat, whatever it is, I don't know. He turned up. He was there first thing at Sunshine on what day was the game? Friday, Wednesday, When was it? Wednesday?
Friday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's no mission. You're done. And he was doing interviews with everybody. And there you go. Adrian Kos was one of the people that he actually interviewed amongst others. And Ivica Petrolic from Gorspic Bears was then given the microphone and went around interviewing people instead of this guy. But I don't know.
I hadn't seen him for how many decades, not years,
Yeah.
decades.
Oh, no.
And
what-
then I said hello, and I go, I know this guy. And I actually took a screenshot of him to send to you to break it and go, who is this guy? I know this guy. And there you go. To my
Stefan
question.
Kos, yeah.
I think one of the biggest mistakes of the community a couple of years ago when there's a tournament down at St Albans was giving the microphone to Ivica Petrolic to do one of the commentaries there.
He did actually really well.
Actually did very well.
He did really well. I was pleasantly surprised.
It was me and him, but I remember everyone that touched the ball. I worked with that guy on the Westpac project, and I worked with that guy on the fucking City Link or whatever. So
I think his head's grown developed. He was much comedian. Yeah. But, no, good old Ivica. No. Another one of those legends of the community does so much behind
He
the
does,
scenes.
actually does.
You
He
know, we
works very
talk
hard.
about the Viesnik, you talk about the interns, and there's such a team there behind the scenes, you know, as well. And then and every club, every organization, there's so much that work that goes behind the scenes. But like I said, once again, it's so hard to expect these people to now revolutionize things because they're just doing what they're doing and they do it very well. But you know, there's so much more that can
all right,
be
the
done.
Wi-Fi might be working. It's looking like there's a lot more movement back home.
There was
Milan
movement at the
Satrimo.
station.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me now?
We got you, Millsy. We got you.
There's more Wi-Fi inside than next to the
Oh
Vinograd.
my God, there's even Steve Jakicic there in the background. Who else is there? My goodness.
Absolutely.
Here's Nasha.
Yeah, I'm here at in Karlovac, or just outside of it, at his in-laws sort of place. And yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Sorry
No
about
worries,
the technical difficulties previously. For some reason, on my mobile, the mic just wasn't turning on. It just
That's
didn't
right.
let me.
Karlovac, that's like if you're in Afghanistan, basically. That's nothing like Zadar, where it's like Los
the
Angeles.
center of the universe.
Exactly right.
But-
But right. Karlovac, you do what you got to do, Millsy. Ali,
It's why, yeah, it's why we started
Yep.
out talking about your past and that.
So,
Tell everyone about yourself, this Hiroja, and all of that sort of stuff. How did you end up here? And how did you end up encouraging everyone at Strathmore Split to tell them that they can do it?
You can do it.
How did we get here?
Thank you, guys. Well, I was born in a little place called Dobrovac, just outside of Zadar, and in 91 became a war refugee. So that's when we left sort of Obrovac, and for a couple of years throughout the war, I studied in mechanical engineering in Rijeka, and then we as a family migrated to Australia. My parents and my brother since have returned back to Croatia about 18 years ago, and obviously I tried to come either on my own or as many of my family members and visit Croatia. So yeah, I was last time here in 23, and now I guess back again in 26 with two of my older daughters, and they're doing visiting family and doing some of their own things with their friends. So that's kind of how I'm here right now.
Now, in the very, very short term, last night, for you, like, was it last night? Sinoć noćas, Thompson concert, Zaprašić. What was it like?
Absolutely brilliant. You cannot experience the emotion and the atmosphere. It's nothing like it. Like we set off by tram and the bus, and closer from the Zagreb to Zaprašić, closer we were getting to Zaprašić, you could see more and more sort of fans, black shirts everywhere with the patriotic sort of slogans, themes, Thompson theme. We rocked up 3 hours before the actual concert. Ended up being 4 hours because he started performing at 9 instead of 8. And the boys were just everyone singing. The music was blaring, so it was and also videos and some of the photos that I put on my social media. It just doesn't do it justice. So
How many were the estimated publica? How many were there?
I don't know. I'd pick a number between 30 to 50,000, something like that. The stadium was absolutely full. The whole side of the whole tribuna was full, and then the whole ground was full. I was in the mosh pit about 10-15 meters away from Thompson. Very friendly atmosphere, family friendly, no problems whatsoever. Everyone's just enjoying themselves, and it's just the production of the actual concert. 5 big vertical screens, the flames, and I mean, I've been to Melbourne to Motorhead concert, but this is nothing like it. So
Nothing like it.
it's just incredible. So I highly encourage whoever's visiting Croatia, if you have a chance to participate and go to Thompson concert, go and do it. Go and do it, because you will not regret it.
The big picture. So you've gone to Crow this year. Obviously, your parents and your brother are there, so you want to see your family. Your daughters are going. They went. I think one went a little bit to Greece or whatever beforehand, and a little bit of England. But you've obviously got mum and dad and brother over there. When you got there, you went on an expedition. You went and had a project that you wanted to start and finish. Tell us.
Yes.
You did a hike. Where did you start? Where did you finish? How long was it? And how long did it take? And where did you sleep?
So basically, if you're born anywhere in Ravni Kotari or Bukovica, Velebit is one of those sort of geographically imposing sort of things. Every time you look up, you'll see Velebit, right? And in the last few years, I've kind of got interested more in outdoors, camping, hiking, that sort of stuff. And very early on, I've kind of set my sights on doing a big hike at Velebit. Basically been planning it for a couple of years. I didn't do too much training. I've done a whole heap of day hikes, but I haven't done multi-day hikes. So I've started the hike at the entrance of the Northern Velebit National Park, and I've finished at Modric's childhood house. 7 grueling days for me as a beginner. It was pretty grueling because it was really hot, and 7 days over 130 kilometers. I was basically hopping from mountain hut to mountain hut. So every night I would sleep at the mountain hut, and the mountain hut because it was the European doormat mouse or something. Puch, it's called Puch here. Anyway, I didn't want to share the hut with them, so I've just set up my own backup one-person tent, and that's what I've done for the last day. Some days I was hiking 12 hours non-stop, overcoming 23, 24 kilometers, over 2,000 meters of elevation for a given day. Met some wonderful people, and it was testing my mind, soul, and body in many ways. But I'm really glad I made it. So this will the hike was dedicated to my parents for everything they've done for me and my brother. So this will result in a YouTube clip eventually when I get home and put it all together. But I took a lot of footage. Yep.
Did you have a nice cold one when you got to the end? Well,
I did actually. A couple of the mountain huts provide beers, and when they do, you can tell the relief on all of the hikers' sort of faces when they go, "Ah, shit, there's beer here." And it doesn't cost much. It's like €1 or €2 and just let it rip. So yeah, the only thing is you got to get up early in the morning and do it all over again. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. So definitely.
And I'll see in all the photos you're in Strathmore split gear. Has there been any stickers that may have been put around between one end of Velebit and the other as we've been going? Would people know that somebody from Strathmore Split's been there before?
If you do any part of this trail that I have done, you will definitely see almost on every post and intersection Strathmore Split sticker. You'll see it at the Baganski Vrh, which is the tallest peak of Velebit. You will see one at the Sveto Brdo as well. So yeah, they dare to remind everyone that yeah, we're here. And yeah, it would be nice for people that do it sort of go, okay, Strathmore Split was here. So anyway, I did have a few of those non-essential, essential sort of items that I've carried. Obviously, a lot of Strathmore Split gear, Croatian flag, Strathmore Split flag. I had Vukovar Ovčara Krunica around my neck the entire time. So yeah, it was a bit of a sort of all-in-one journey dedicated to my parents. Yep, and hopefully, I mean, they're still around and they'll see it.
How long are you there for, and where are you going now after Karlovac? Where do you head to next?
So now my kids start their own sort of holidays with their own friends. So we're going to Zadar now from Karlovac, and once I get there, I'm gonna spend maybe a week with family again in Maslenica. Let kids use my parents' apartment in Zadar, and once they move down south coast, I'm gonna do a few days down south. I absolutely love Omiš, Primošten, Makarska, so definitely gonna visit some of those places and enjoy a few days down there, and probably then come back and spend a week, last week of the holiday with parents and brother.
If you when you're around Zadar and if you pop into Tetakaya and Tetakmate's house, I've got some torcida gear that's been delivered there especially for me or Albert. I've ordered it just for him.
No worries. I'll go and visit him. No problems. No troubles.
That's it. And when do you come back?
I come back 27th of July. We fly back, me and Jessica, and yeah, I'll be there on 28th and straight back.
Still got plenty of time. Got a good 3 weeks then to enjoy. Have a good rest and prochimalo. See you folks. Do what you need to do, and you'll see Aussies everywhere you go. I reckon be good to or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's Aussies everywhere. You can hear the accent, and some are obviously of Croatian heritage. Some are just purely tourists visiting the beautiful country of Croatia. So it's good to see.
So, Miller,
Good to see.
Christian, you were saying like you absolutely love Primož Omiš, Makarska Riviera, all that down there. Is anything in particular there that draws you to that area, or that that part of Croatia?
Scenery. Omiš is just if you look at some of the aerial photos and Cetina, it's just it's out of this world. I just get drawn to the really nice sort of places. I don't have any family there, any friends. I do have someone I know in Omiš, but I just love the scenery. Love the place.
It's a nice walk. If you go, you've probably already been to Skradin from the old centre where the boat takes you up. That's what is it, the Krka? But walk it up, so you can walk up from down the centre of Skradin up to. Did you go last time? We were there. We were at the same time.
Yeah, I went, but I went with the boat.
Yeah, we went
walking the scenic
we
route.
did the walk up and back. It's not a long walk, but it's bloody beautiful as well. Just walking up, watching.
Yep.
It's
What's the Samostan there called?
Visovac.
Visovac, that's right.
Just underrated. There's some places there. We all know the big places, the big touristy places, but some of the places that you don't hear much about are as nice, if not nicer than.
Yeah, went there for Velika Gorska.
I've been to Visovac monastery there. So it was beautiful.
Went there in 2013
would you be
for
making your
Velika
way into
Gorska.
Bosnia and Herzegovina, maybe visiting places like Mostar, Doboj, Metković? Any of those?
No plans to go to Bosnia and Herzegovina this time.
No.
Well, you've obviously got links to Zadar as well, or as Santino here puts it, Zara. What about and what he puts down here, Fiume? Like you spent a few years at Rijeka. Do you ever go back to Rijeka?
Actually, my parents suggesting don't just go south, sort of coast. Go up north to Rijeka, Pula, and Rovinj. They're absolutely beautiful places. I've never been back to Rijeka since I've sort of migrated in '93. But maybe not on cards this time around, but maybe some other time. Definitely want to explore the entire coast rather than just south of Zadar.
Our old mate Ante Grabovac has asked, Euro Dancer needs to give us a dance from Croatia. Well, we've got you.
There was a bit of dancing last night. It was unbelievable. Again, highly recommend anyone that's here to go and watch any of the Thompson concerts going around.
We got here Sonia Karlovic saying that's amazing. Congratulations. Our old buddy Paul Grzinic, epic Milan, bravo mate. So
thank you.
Paul is watching, and pozdrav from down here as well, from everyone here in the northern suburbs where we are, and probably coming from all over the country as well. People that are giving the thumbs up. And you got here Santino says it goes off Thompson concert, but the Western media don't like it. No, they don't. But we love it.
We do.
We love it, and the girls would have loved every minute of it as well. I'd say being there in that mix.
So you're going to teach them how to cook a rajan over there, or what?
No, I don't need to teach them. The Rostil is working overtime everywhere, mate. The rajans and everything. And you know what? The food to me is a lot tastier here. Even my kids are noticing that, let's say, tomatoes that you buy in the shop are a lot tastier than the ones that we shop. And also own stuff, which my parents do a lot of in their bashta. It's just amazing. So kids are enjoying the food more than what they did in Australia. So that's one noticeable thing for me.
Well, you as a foodie as well, like actually, what am I asking that question? I know that a lot of people were talking about since we entered the European Union, certain levels have dropped. You don't get that organic, like you brought up tomatoes, for example, but you don't, like when you go to shops, that it's not quite that same quality as we were getting maybe 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Is that the case, or are you thinking like there's still plenty of beautiful produce and meats and everything out there on offer?
One thing I did notice, and this is anecdotal, I wasn't actually after or that sort of information, but a lot of the food here that I buy in the shops, I can see that it's imported, and I don't know why, because there's no reason for it. There's plenty of zemlja and water here to sort of produce it, but yes, that's one thing I've noticed. A lot of the food is imported instead of being produced locally here. So maybe that's that difference that you were sort of getting at. But most of the food that I've eaten, especially at my folks, it's all mostly homegrown or fresh fish. caught in the sea. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
enjoying it.
Millsy, thank you so much for joining us, Večeras. Big pozdrav to yourself, to mum, dad, brother, everyone that's over there, to the girls. Jacko that was there next to you as well. How did he end up there? Was he at the concert? Were you there last night too?
Yeah, I was, mate.
There you go. There you go. Steve Jakicic in God's country, they call it Karlovac. Četiri rijeke, I believe it is.
What did you say? What did you say about Karlovac before, Smollett? You're gonna have to take that back.
No, I said it's beautiful like certain parts of Afghanistan, the coast.
The coastal regions of Afghanistan.
I can't say nothing.
Yeah, I'm here at Jacko's in-laws sort of place, and he was kind enough to hook me up on the Wi-Fi and overcome some of the technical issues I was having with the mic.
Tech support.
Yeah.
There you go. But veliki pozdrav. There's
Thank
a message here. Mir misses you so much. She can't live without you. Ne zna što će s sobom. She's over here every day crying. What am I going to do without him? He's the best man I know in the whole of the universe.
Why is your nose growing?
Yeah, exactly right. No, I haven't seen her since he left.
Thank you.
Enjoy the
fine.
next three and a little bit weeks. Što imaš tamo. The weather looks fantastic. Everything you can't. Dibi
Thank
radi
you.
beer
Thank you.
than where you are right now. You know what I mean?
Weather's been really good. If anything, a little bit hotter than what I expected. So yeah, it's been 35 plus or close to 40, sort of for a good stretch. So.
But by the time you get back, hopefully Split will be promoted, and then we'll throw another Yanya on the Raja.
Oh, yeah,
Mate, they got a win
yes.
yesterday at
Yeah.
Surf Coast. So
No worries. We'll do a couple for good measure.
no worries, Millsy. Veliki pozdrav. Thanks heaps, mate. Well done on the hike for getting through
Thank
it.
you
We were a
very
little
much.
bit worried, not Oche Neche, but you know, it's a little bit different than walking the
wasn't
streets
easy.
in the northern suburbs of Melbourne to walking through Velebit and that, and there's Poskotsi and bears and the Lichani as well. You know, Rasta can jump out of the wood over there. So you made it. Well done. Now enjoy your 3 weeks. Stojimaš ispred sebe, and hopefully maybe catch another Thompson
A
concert. If there
lot
is
of
one.
hairy beasts in Lika, even some bears.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me. It's
No
been a
worries,
pleasure.
Veliki Jacko. Veliki pozdrav. Thanks for joining us, boys.
Great work.
All the best, mate.
Catches. You can do it.
Thank you. You can do.
There you go. There you go. Mile Dragicevic all the way from currently in Karlovac via Zaprešić, going back towards Zadar and Maslenica after doing a 130-kilometer hike over a week, sometimes 2,000-meter elevation, sleeping in huts, sometimes outside. Pretty decent at 50-plus years of age to be able to do that. But he's
fit as a fiddle.
He is pretty fit, mate. He is fit. He's ripped. He's trained for it. He said not as much as he probably should have, but he's well and truly done it, mate. Because you see those horror stories. Every week, some Magyar gets lost wearing his schlappe in Velebit. He goes, it doesn't look too far. And the next thing you know, you got the SAS and that being dropped in helicopters, dragging this bloke out of some cave.
There goes another
'Cause he's-
another chick to a rest trying to conquer the Velebit.
Majority are notorious. They go up in like sandals and schlappe.
Yeah,
and
they
shit.
always go with sandali.
When Mile comes back and puts the video together, you'll see some of the terrain that you have to walk through and get through. And if you're going up there in schlappe, you're obviously nationality malofali. But Taunch, come back and join us, mate. We've got here so many memories being brought up. Loving it. Remember also Clocker Magazine. That's Lucy. I can't know if I can pronounce it. Ferbejar. And then also Peter Finka. Boys, the whole discussion regarding people finding their crow culture is great. Yeah, because it's pretty popular now. You got this, who do you think you are? It used to be on SBS, but now Ancestry.com's doing it with everybody. There's every celebrity now known to man has done some kind of an ancestry research or whatever. Obviously, people want to hear their story rather than hearing our story. But mate, I'll tell you what, I had to fill in an application, or help my daughter fill in an application. We finished it yesterday for something overseas. They asked not only for their parents' citizenship or their grandparents' names, and they went back great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. They wanted to know like 4, 5, 6 generations back. I don't know why. It's because they'll give out a Russian gangster citizenship overnight there that's got no crow parentage, but then for certain things you're just applying for a scholarship or something like that, and they're asking for 6 generations back. I've luckily enough done it. I've gone back 300-400 years. I'm now going to try again. I've found an old email. I'm going to try and put in for a noble title, that plemage. They can have that little plem on my mother's side, even though the Smollett's really should have been kings back in the day, but we'll take it on the old lady's side.
Never say never. Never say
if
never.
we have
mate.
to. But yeah, not only the culture, but who do you think you are, and those sorts of things, as I think sparked a little bit of in most cultures, people want to find out who they are. But we've got that much documentation available to you free online that if you come from what are today's fortunate and unfortunate borders, pretty much everything that's inside the current Republika Hrvatska borders you can find online for free at familysearch.org. If you're born maybe in Vojvodina or your ancestry may be Vojvodina, Bihar, Boka Kotorska, places like that, and may not be digitized yet. But everything that's in the current Crow borders, you can find for nothing, for free. You just log in, doesn't cost you anything. Not this ancestrybullshit.com and these ones. That's all if you're Scottish, English, nema problema. For Crows, familysearch.org. I'm going to do an episode one day on just how to get into it and how to log in and all those sorts of things. Fantastic.
That's a great one.
But what Petar Finke said here, without going too much of a tangent, so Rob, he mentioned to Rob, Petar mentioned to Rob, a girl that's been on social media. Maori, you'd watch it for off the
Just
face
half,
value.
half Maori
Yeah.
ancestry, half Croatian.
Face value, you go, Maori, and she's part Crow. And she is now digging deep into
part of
her
that.
culture.
Part of those
And that's-
tarara
The
people.
Tarara, the Crow Maori merged group that live in New Zealand now have for a long time. They worked on the rubber plantations or something like that, where the Crows and Maoris intermarried and basically created a new breed of people on the island. Yeah, whichever South, North Island or whatever. So we're going to try. We're doing our best to get her onto the show. We have reached out.
We have, yep. So hopefully she'll come on in the next couple of weeks or something. But and also, even if you get onto that page, I can't remember what her page was, but I'll find it now. Some great stories, and one of the best stories was on there was an older gentleman who was talking about the wine industry in New Zealand, and he said basically if it wasn't for the Croats in New Zealand wouldn't even have a wine industry. So that was them that brought it in, and I knew this previously. The biggest wine companies in Australia, in New Zealand, are actually Croatian, Dalmatian migrants that have gone there and set it up. Nobila Wines. Villa Maria, some really famous ones. They're all, Croatian wines. So it's fantastic. And now reputation of some of the, probably the best Sauvignon Blancs in the world, and Chardonnays and all sorts of other.
So speaking about the past, great reaching out, your heritage and that, but also us that are now in the present would like to leave a legacy. Everybody that does something in their life would love to leave a legacy. And Taunchi, one of the main reasons we got you on tonight is to talk about your book. You've written a book. I'm going to put up a screenshot now. Now, this is one way you are able to purchase the book called The Final Whistle, A Footballer's Journey. It has been a labor of love. For many years, you've been working on this book. It's finally come to fruition, finally been published in a beautiful, soft paper. What do you call this? Paperback? Paperback. Available to you on Amazon, but you can and should also definitely have a look at buying it via books.by/Taunchi Prusats. Books.by/Taunchi Prusats. You can purchase the book, but also via Amazon.com. Is it .au?
.au, yeah. If you do it in Australia, you get it within 3 days or something like that. Pretty amazing. But the royalties on Amazon are pretty shocking. So books.by, prefer that if it's possible. But yeah, you don't make much on it. As you say, labor of love. Oh, get it right. The title, The Final Whistle, A Footballer's Legacy.
Legacy.
Because if you say The Final Whistle and Google it, it's some gay football novel, whatever. It's completely different to the...
And you know what
a lot of our viewers are out there really interested in that one.
That's right.
Only after it was published did you find that there's a whole heap of these, The Final Whistles, yeah.
It's like a Freudian slip there, Taunchi.
When my baby. Gay footballers whistle. That's
Isn't
slang.
that what they used to accuse us back in the 70s and 80s? That soccer was wog ball and gay ball and this and that.
Yeah. No, Sheila's Wogs and Poofters, I believe,
That's
wasn't
it.
it?
That's
the
the
book
one.
or the
Johnny Warren.
Johnny Warren.
Yeah,
Was
but,
that Johnny Warren or was that Les Murray or both of them?
I think it was Johnny
Warren.
Warren.
Did that one,
Yeah. But then, that's slang, a gay footballer's whistle. That's a slang for oh. Ali, tell us, Taunch, how long is it? How long? When did you start? What got you started in the first place? And how hard was it?
Do you know what? I never imagined, of course, journalist, you write things and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't actually imagine this to be a book to start off with. You didn't I didn't ever kind of start saying, that's it, I'm going to today start writing a book, I'm going to plan it, I'm going to do this and that. Actually, how it happened maybe 4 years ago, 2022, coming out of COVID, my son, who's a soccer player, footballer, and they're not the most intellectual types, especially the boys' soccer players. And he was in grade 5. We really tried to get him to read. He wasn't interested in Captain Underpants and all of those other books yet, but trying to get him to read decent, chapter novels, as I was saying.
just read.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. Whereas my daughter, who's 15 months older, her Lexile score was, out through the roof. His wasn't. So sort of, what do we do? How do we get him involved? So we had those Tiny Timmy books, which were great, but they were very kiddie, childish, And so there was one thing that I thought, well, what if I start just doing these short chapters and, throwing him in the mix and sort of basing it on him playing mini roos for North Geelong, Croatia Warriors at the time? Would that get him interested in reading? For a little bit, Then he went back to kicking the ball and doing other things that he was more interested in. But then it sparked something. And this is where the seed was planted. I thought, we'll talk about earlier in the piece, we talk about how things aren't documented. And I've always been a big believer. And that's one of the reasons that I was drawn to the Viesnik back in the early days, was to document stories from our community, our experiences. And sadly, getting off the tangent a little bit, these days, the most of the time we get to see people is when we go to funerals. And I'm fascinated by these eulogies, because ordinary people start telling extraordinary tales and things like that. And that's where this started. It was like, okay, bit by bit, I started this idea of, hang on a sec, maybe if I write a novel, because we didn't have that. Or 4 years ago, we didn't have it. Now they're starting to come out of the woodwork, and all these people are starting to write novels, like fiction, like stories. And this is like, wow, this is like, maybe if I do this. And I had the ending. I knew what I wanted the ending to be. Like, forget the start, forget the main body. I knew what the ending wanted to be, and it's quite a dramatic, cinematic kind of ending. So I won't kind of reveal too much. But then I had the start. So I knew kind of how I wanted to start it. But in a twist, the prologue is kind of modern day, and then this chapter 1 actually starts 35 years back, and it builds up to it, And it was like, okay, I know what I want to do. That how do I go about it? Like, in what way? There's no right or wrong answer kind of when you're doing a novel, because you can kind of do it the way you've been taught, or the way, a proper novelist is being taught structure and this and that. I just started telling the story. And bit by bit, I'd spent many, many hours of an evening researching, and that was the best part of it. It's not AI written, but it is AI assisted. And by that, I mean, sometimes I'd go, all right, what's a city that's mentioned, Barcelona? What can I expect in Barcelona? What other attractions? What this? What the? Then you go into Google Maps and start, like, you're actually there. And you spent many an hour, a night just starting to just almost in, what's the word? You like immerse yourself
into
that.
this virtual
And
reality.
you start to live this virtual reality, and bit by bit, the story comes out. And you start to kind of like develop these characters based on him, based on that. And like, I've been very fortunate, guys. Over the last 20, 25 years, I've had jobs either in the Croatian community through the Viesnik. I worked in football for 3 years. I worked at Football Victoria. And nowadays I've got my own sports media business, and I combine the two. So for 20 years, I've worked where other people have done things voluntarily. I've been doing that as a job. And as part of that, I've interviewed people. I've spoken to people. I've, picked the brains of many a coach, many a professional footballer, and getting an insight into that kind of world. And one thing is you learn how important the mental toughness, the resilience has to be. But also everyone goes with a purpose of leaving some legacy to someone. Now, Ante, the father, he leaves a legacy for his son Marco, the main character, who's this fictional character based in the western suburbs of Melbourne, and he could be a Mark Viduka, he could be a Željko Kalas, he could be a Joey Bidlica or Josip Skoko or Josip Šimunić, any one of those and all of those. But it could also be just an average, normal, everyday person who dreams of one day getting there. And it's the legacy that all these people leave for the next generation. There's 3 generations covered here. And in a way, the end result, the end product is maybe my legacy to the community. So it's everything that I've experienced or witnessed or observed, now putting it into a book. So it's now the scary part is it's out for judgment, isn't it? People are going to read it and say, oh, you should have done this, you should have done. I'm waiting for Grgic to come up and say, you should have done this, you should have done that,
And now, if you want to pass judgment early, if you don't want to jump on Amazon, or you don't want to go on books.buy/Tonči Prusac, the first person that rings through via video link, on the link you can see on the bottom of the screen or in the chat, will get a copy, a signed copy from Tonči himself. If you were the first person to ring through, I asked people today, I implored them to call in because we want people to call in. And
We do. I want to have a discussion.
Question.
Off the cuff, preacher. Nema, even we've had a guest once that didn't want to turn his camera on because he's got a head for radio. Right. So he said, no, I'm not turning my fucking radio. Nema problema. You can do that. But if you call in, first person to call in gets a copy. Final Whistle, a footballer's legacy, not a footballer's journey, a footballer's legacy by Tonchi Prusats, signed.
Yep.
But hopefully you'll get this book earlier than what Susie Corlick got her book from Jelena Churic. I've still got it, unfortunately. I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you. I've seen Tommy a few times. It'll come.
Actually, speaking of legacies, like before I forget, because I'm getting told off by text, this was sent to us courtesy of Mariana Tabakis from her late mother's house. We said would fill it up with kikis. So he's
Kiki.
kick.
Thank you.
Kiki. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's,
So anyway, so thank you very much for that offering to the PodroomTV. Now you talked about there's 3 generations in this book. Was it difficult to sort of get in that headspace, those 3 different headspaces? Is it in first person, third person? Was it a different world? Was this sort of related a bit to the Viesic when you talk about the Viesic? I was because you were there for so many decades and seeing it, how the stories have changed from the 90s to the noughties and all that. Was that the same thing when you were writing about these 3 different generations, or was there, is there a link that binds them? Anyway, you tell me the story. You're the
I mean, the first chapter sets the scene, so it's. Or some would say, do I say it's boring? Maybe it is. It kind of paints the picture a little bit, but it's important. That lays the foundation. It's like our community. Everything that's laid the foundations happened before our time, before we came around. And our parents set the scene for what was eventually going to be the next generation of Croatian community members. And then they carry it on. Now you've got the next generation. It covers a little bit of that first generation. So Ante, born in Imotski, fled communism. Football for him, soccer for him was that connection to that idyllic childhood he spent many a time, in Imotski. He met his wife over there, came over here, childhood sweethearts, via Germany, came to Australia, had these dead-end jobs, but on the weekends, that's when he came alive, through the sport, through the soccer. He's passed on that love onto his kid. And one of the things that Marko Tomic, he's the main character. He when he's young, he's one of his things that he says is, "Tata, I want to do you proud," and that stays with him the whole time. And then as the story kind of unfolds, and Marko is the main character, obviously, one thing he realizes, he's not alone. When he's on the other side of the world, he's fighting different obstacles, different issues, ups and downs. He realizes, as lonely as he is, he's not alone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it all culminates towards the end. And look, the start of the book introduces the 3rd generation, young Anthony. And really the stories there, that doesn't really focus too much on him, but it's not meant to, because he now, the future is with him, and what happens with him, that's his story. You know what I'm saying?
Leave that to the
so
imagination.
it's a fictional story, but based on, I guess, true events, but based on true observations and true experiences of the Australian Croatian community. So there's all these little stories and sub-stories, and some people say, "Oh, there's no soccer in here; it's just romance." Others say it's all about Australian Croatian culture. Others say it's a travel guide because there's all these cities mentioned, and they said. Someone came up with the Robbie Volarovic, who's involved in Zora, was one of the first to buy the books, and he finished reading it. And I made a comment, now we need the Final Whistle World Tour to go to all those exotic places that's mentioned in here.
Make it a bucket list. Make it a bucket list.
But look, at the end of the day, I think it's something that has a lot of different things, and hopefully something that everyone can resonate with. And, we talk about, I know it sounds boring, that we don't have enough documented stories and this and that. This sort of covers a lot of those things. And it's not the be-all and end-all. And if anything, if this can inspire my son to start reading, but also others to do something similar in whatever way they can do it. Jelena Churic, you mentioned, she's got a great story that happened in the 80s. Luka's escaped. Trisha Bulic talked about something in the 50s and 60s, whatever. This is kind of more 80s, 90s, and modern day. I'd love to see, a whole movement of authors, writers come up. And these days, it's a lot easier than it used to be. Self-publishing. The hardest thing now is, I'm realizing, is getting it out there.
Distribution.
The marketing side of things,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Amazon's great. They print on demand. As you order it, they print it. So you don't have up these big costs up front. But
that's probably why the margins are so small.
That's
instead
exactly
of doing
right.
massive runs where you got to get it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm hoping, and I'm already in conversation with a couple of clubs. We will be doing a Melbourne launch, a Geelong launch, and I'd love to take it around Australia, because thankfully I have got a great network of people. And it's when you go to these communities, maybe these far-flung communities, and you guys will notice this, you just realise how sometimes we in Victoria, we take it for granted. We've got something every week. Some of these other communities, Newcastle, Gold Coast, Tasmania, even Perth, they wish they had what we've got, because they have maybe once every 2 months a Zaba or an event or something.
Have a band has to fly in or drive up and
right.
play, because there's
Exactly.
no local band even, or a squeeze box player
Exactly.
to entertain. Yeah, we got here Marinko M. Big shout out to you guys and Tonchi. I'm currently on Otok Ugljan, and my YouTube notification prompted me to watch your show. So they're watching in Ugljan. You know what's on Ugljan, Tonchi? A Ludnica.
The
So
world
no
is a
offense,
Ludnica.
Marinko, but just going back to Mile, you got his lovely wife Mir, who says Panemoj Smolik. And she says hi, Mile. So that's a good way of communicating through a chat on PodroomTV.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And Ante Babic said, "What a chovjek," and I think that goes for both Milan and Tonchi that's in the
Yes.
studio
Absolutely.
with us. What a chovjek. But then we've got here, Santino mentioned the Geelong Soccer Show. So obviously, you, like I said, you are pretty stretched. Yeah, you're pretty stretched. But look, you've got Viesnik.
Yeah.
You've got Geelong Soccer Show. You've been writing a book. You've got, obviously commitments with soccer training and other probably extracurricular activities for the kids and stuff, plus home life. Kako Stignish. What is it, good time management? What is it?
Yeah, it is. No, it is. Look, I'm not going to lie. It is time management. You do have to kind of really be able to prioritize. That's something the Viesnik edition 1 taught me back in the day when we had deadlines. You had to really you go to a club and people love to chat and they just start like to but sometimes they forget, or that you've got deadlines or you're there to do something. So sometimes you might come across, I hate when I'm commentating a Dinamo, the thought of, oh geez, I have to go to the toilet. Now I have to go to the other side. The toilets are in the club rooms, and on the way you're always inevitably going to be stopped by someone. You're busting. You've been holding on for 45 minutes. You've only got about 10 minutes before you got to start back to the gantry on the other side. Someone wants to stop and have a chat and talk. And it happened a couple of weeks ago after the game. I totally forgot I had to go to the toilet by that stage.
And then you look down.
Why's my leg all warm?
It was a cold night. Geez, it can get cold out there. I think it was that night. It was foggy.
Today was freezing cold. This is like a 4 o'clock in the afternoon, freezing cold. And it's not even like remote or anything. It's suburban St Albans, but it was bloody cold.
It was cold.
But here we go. St Albans Dinamo, all accounts have said, is Debelak one of the tourist destinations mentioned in your book?
You'll have to get it to find out.
Because I was reading some of that stuff about a talented young footballer.
I don't know. I'm going to
Talented young footballer went overseas to chase his dream and these exotic destinations. I go, fucking, he's written this book about me. I lived the dream. Yeah, I was a paid footballer in Europe in first division. Don't ask what division the first division was in. It was the first division European football for money I played. So I'm reckon this book might be a bit of poetical license there. It could be.
your story.
Could be. John Bilosh, congrats on the book, Tonchi. Ante Babic, bravo, Tonchi. Veslo at the first marathon. Veslo, at the first marathon larger with my brazo back in 01. That's another one. Where you've done and seen a lot. Yeah. Neretva, Metkovic, that marathon larger, where it's basically, what did you call it? Those dragon boats would be the closest thing you got here. These Chinese dragon boat races. But
it's not as glamorous
10.
as it might sound. I think I was the bubnyar on the day, and I think I broke the buban. The drums. Bloody hell, that was tough. My goodness me.
How many k's is that? How long is it?
It's 22 kilometers.
22 kilometers
from
rowing.
From Etkovic to Opuzen, from Opuzen then to onto Ploče. And it's pretty full on. But I remember me and Antoni Volaric from Geelong, from Volare Constructions. We went up to opposite, and then after that, we were trying to hitchhike, trying to walk, trying to whatever, all the way back to Ploče. So it was at the halfway mark. The Veslaci came at Ploče before we did. That's how banked up the it was. But it was a bit of marketing. It was really good marketing. It was the 3rd edition, by the way. And what they wanted, the guys who were involved with that, they wanted to internationalize it. Not internationalize it. They wanted to really kind of give it a marketing scope outside of that Dolina Neretva, as they say, the Neretva Valley. And they did, to the point that these days, very few Metkovčani or Neretvani actually win it. It's usually from someone from Samobor or someone from Zagreb Uni or Bjelovar or whatever, but they've actually really expanded it. And we were a part of that. We were we weren't very good, but it was the whole purpose of Sinovi Neretve, we were called, the sons of the Neretva, you know. And that was an amazing experience. Like we felt like we were celebrities, and we were hacks, basically hack rowers.
So then that Bože, if the boat tipped over, none of you could swim.
No.
Yeah.
And what's the party like? I heard the party at the end, whichever cellar or whatever Zasuk wins, goes absolutely nuts.
Oh, yeah. You get invited. Each cellar has their own like team, yeah. And it's become pretty full on. They have their own teretane and that kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff. And afterwards, it was amazing. Everyone kind of invites you to their village. Their village has a big party, big celebration. And I actually happened to be in last year where on the same day that it was Marathon Larger, there was a wedding. So I couldn't go, unfortunately, to the Marathon Larger. But 2 days before, they have the Ženski Marathon. So the women are involved in it. Not as big as the men, of course. Still big. And it's great to see in Croatia, things are slowly starting to change. It's not just about the men, just about the blokes. The women are being looked after. The girls are being looked after. And look, we've got a long way to go in the soccer to emulate what we're doing with the men, but it's slowly getting there. And the Marathon Larger is now a big cultural event that spans, I don't know, the weekend or whatever. But it's got to a stage where now most, like Sinjska Alka in Sinj, you've got Marathon Larger in Metković, you've got all around Croatia, these little festivals are popping up.
And what selo Zasuk are the Prusi from?
Russia from Podrujenica, Volarović, which is my mum's maiden name. They're from Prud, so they're two complete opposite ends of the.
Because we have a massive following from people from Metković.
Massive.
Yeah. And any apologies if anyone's offended by some of
no, we like to hang it
Metković.
on ourselves, let alone
especially those from Desna as well. We love Desna. Desna is like the Las Vegas. They should have casinos there. That's amazing.
But you said like that things are changing over there. It's now starting to be about the women. It's always been about the women.
Oh,
we've no matter what we try and say.
And isn't it funny? They say we're a patriarchal society, but we're not. We're actually like they say the žena is the četvrti stup od svakog kućanstva, type of thing. And look, I think in generations gone by, we didn't pay enough respect. That's changing. These days, things are really changing a great deal. And look, in this book, getting back to this book, Marko, he's the main character, but he could not have succeeded and could not have got to where he was going to get if it wasn't for the women in his life and overcoming some of the obstacles without the women in his life as well. And that's one of those things, people turn around and say, "Oh, I'm not into soccer, I don't want to read it." But there's a romance story there. There's a backdrop of the pride in the what the family has done and what the family stands for. It's everything that a Thompson supporter likes and everything that an anti-Thompson supporter doesn't like. Bog, domovina, obitelj.
It's
That's the one. But Marinko, who mentioned earlier, he was on Ugljan. He says he's taking it well. The Lunica must be the reason I feel so at home here.
Is that Marinko from Canberra? Marinko Marković?
It's Marinko M, so could well be. So it was Dinamo. I commented, the Beljak, aren't you guys supposed to have a shot?
I knew that was
We have nothing večeras to drink. It is Lako noć. No, we're on dry July, aren't we?
Ne vidiš da smo ljuti. Ne vidiš da smo nervozni.
Dry July.
I might leave the room with both legs intact.
Well, and then Lily BC says, Debeljak is what happens when you come home from holiday in Croatia. Which is true. Tony Gudic, Metković expands to well over 100,000 that weekend during the larger races. Over 100,000 people coming. What's the population? Not particularly high, spread out a fair bit.
But they say Inner Metkovic is 15 to 20,000. Then you got all the little option around the areas and that kind of stuff. But yeah, generally 20,000. That's
So
what
if you
they
get over
said.
100,000 for that
It's
weekend,
5
it's a
times.
massive money spinner for the region, and it's bloody fantastic. I've got to get
It's
there.
like Croatia itself in summer, isn't it?
That is 21 million I heard last year. Apparently we're in Croatia. 21 million people, tourists came to Croatia.
There you go.
I remember when I got to 13, I go, that's unsustainable. Where do these people sleep?
Yeah.
And in mountain huts with Miele and those mice that he's talking about. Well done on the book, Imenyak. That's also from Tony Grgic. So obviously he hasn't read it, because if he had have read it, he would have given you plenty of feedback by now.
I can't believe 2 positive things from Tony. What's
Yeah, I
going
can't
on?
believe that. I don't know who's got control of St. Albans.
No, alcohol.
Yeah, but Tony Grgic he's been hacked. Your account's been hacked, Tony. Just double check,
As
because
the St. Albans Dynamos.
it's out of character, or you're being blink twice if you're being held hostage, because that's it's out of character. Does Marco Perula larger? Asked St. Albans Dynamo. That's like that. What was that? What was that one about? What was the one about slapping the bass?
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the
Slapping
bass.
the bass.
So someone here said, Dynamo's asked, does Marco Perula larger? That may again be slang for something else. 'Cause,
I think
when I was a young man, before facial recognition, it's required now in Australia and social media, I used to pedal a larger.
quite often 3-4 times a day.
And I've never been to Metkovic. Oh my God, I could have paddled all the way to Metkovic. Paddling the larger. That's a good one. I don't mind that one.
And yes, Tonchi, it's me. So it is. Martinko from Canberra.
Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Yeah, there you go.
Once I get rid of the pop-ups, because I'm a tired ass to pay for the antivirus.
Yes.
Gospodin Prusac je legenda naše hrvatske zajednice.
Oh, gee.
Kičma novog naraštaja. Love your work. Thank you, brats. Mark Malik. There you go.
Oh, thank you,
And
Mark.
yes, it is Marinko. There you go. In or on Ugljan. I don't know if you'd say in or on, because I think there's a cell of Ugljan.
Once you're on Ugljan, you're in Ugljan. You're
Once you're on Ugljan, mate, just put your arms like this and they'll tie you up at the back.
and you're in there for a while.
Mate, he's from Canberra, heavily was involved with O'Connor Knights and the Croatian community up there, Marinko. So I guess, being up in Canberra, he's had a fair bit of practice.
Oh, come on.
I love Canberra.
But
They've
Don't
also
get me
got
wrong.
a big white building full of crazy people up there. Mate. A fucking huge one. There's like 176 of them. Sve ludo.
Tony Grgic promising he's going to get you to Metkovic.
All right, so go fund me. Go fund me,
GoFundMe page.
because I haven't paddled a larger in a long time. So if you could give me the Metkovic so I can paddle a larger, please donate it.
Need all the help we can get.
And this is great that we can have fun and good-natured fun and at our own expense. And that's what's part and parcel of, a community. Like it's we stick through each other with good times and bad times and all of that kind of
Like
stuff.
looking at this
That's what it
scarf, yeah, you were involved like I was in
Yeah.
those very, very early, almost formative
Yeah.
meetings of the Knights Army back in the day. Yeah, there's a lot of Geelong boys back then. Yeah, and that crossover of Geelong Melbourne would be weekly. There'd be something back and forth. There'd be a game. There'd be busload of Geelong people coming and the busload of Melbourne, or
That's
vice
right. I remember
versa.
the Geelong
We
buses,
miss those days where we came together on a regular basis as a community, and I think that's what we go on about. We need to get that back in some way, and there always has to be something overriding. Look at this World Cup here. We don't really have a community spokesman, like someone to talk about, the Croatian community in Australia on behalf of the Croatian community. And when someone is selected or appointed to, we did a story on a group of Croatians that were they went to Croatia and kind of represented their organizations. There was no one that really represented the community at one of the Hrvati izvan diaspora, Hrvati izvan Hrvatske sabor, whatever that they had recently.
Ray Petzotic, our good friend, is now part of that.
Yes, absolutely. Anna Erceg down in Melbourne, who's with the sisters now, are going to be. This is a great story, a great news story. On Thursday nights, it's been iconic, the Croatian radio program, the Pejo Maric, legend of the show, who watches this show. He's going on holiday. Before that, Franjo Sačević, who was the president of the Dom. And they didn't have anyone to take over. The 3 Erceg sisters from Geelong are now going to take over. So second generation. And that boy...
Well, full time or just
no, just the
gone?
program, just the radio
No,
program.
but I'm saying, well, there's that full, like I'm saying,
I
they're
don't know.
taking it over full time from Pio, or
No, until
just having a break.
Pio's just
Okay.
having a break,
Okay,
yeah. But if they're having the next generation move in and help out and that kind of stuff. So that's absolutely fantastic.
What a great name for a law firm that would be. Erceg, and Erceg.
Yeah.
Tim Balaban says is a great supporter of the show, fantastic supporter. He's got the Dandy City Ultras.
Oh,
The
no, it's not the Ultras.
Oh, that's a Dandy City, Dandy Hajduk actual
That's the one.
hoodie.
That was we wore this on the
Mali.
day we were accosted.
And that's right. When we were attacked
Yeah.
by terrorists, domestic terrorists at Bob Jones Stadium. They should have been on a watch list now.
Yes.
Ali Timbo says, big positive boys. I think Tonchi hit the nail on the head with growing up with life and the community prior Croatia being independent. Then keeping our community and kids together after getting our independence. Seeing my son cry when we equalised versus Portugal blew me away. And knew then I've done my job as a proud, passionate Croat. Then the fucker screwed us like the rest. Tonchi said it well. Keep fighting and stick and support one another. Keep up the great work, PodroomTV and Tonchi. Love you boys. Is someone nappered?
No,
There you go.
Thanks, Tim. Tim's a
Yeah, I mean,
huge supporter. And
Always.
well, thank you.
Always. And
From
I'm
the bottom
tearing
of
up.
our
I'm
hearts.
tearing up reading that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say that all the time. There's certain things you see your kids do and you go, I've done my job. Sometimes you don't do a particularly good job on certain things when you're a parent, but there are some things where I look and I go, you know what? They want to go on their own to a Zabava without me. They're trying to find their own prijevos to go to a Hrvatska Zora Zabava in sunshine without me even mentioning the Zabavas being on because they want to. And I go, we've done something right. Yeah, but it's effort. It is an effort. It doesn't happen overnight. These kids can't be involved in the community if we don't get them into the community in the first place.
Yeah.
Because when they're younger and we're the ones that are taking them to these places, if we don't take them to these places, they disconnect. And then later they're going to be one of those people, oh, you know, I'm 35 years old and I wouldn't mind learning about my heritage and all these things. If you get them in early, they learn as they go. They grow in the community. They learn things that we learn organically.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and then you sort of, the community raises them as well, as you do. And they pick up certain things which you're
Takes a
surprised.
village.
It surprises you.
Look, everyone's different. Some people live by that adage of you got to force feed something down, shove it down someone's throat. I don't. I think if you do that, you're going to end up with people who are going to rebel.
Exactly
You know,
right.
and no, with all due respect, there were a lot of people in our community, older people who most of them are not were around with us, and they used to force things, and their kids just rebel. You don't see those kids anywhere in the community. You got to encourage and let them make that decision themselves. You know, when something happens and they make that decision, it's so much more powerful, so much more tangible than if you've been trying to shove someone and force someone. But you know, you got to have something. Someone decides they want to study Croatian. You got to find that these days there's something for everyone, but you got to make it so attractive that they want to do it of their own bat, you know, type of thing.
Exactly. And Dinamo again says, well done, Torchy. Can't wait to see you at Dinamo. When will you be there? There's a game. Is a home game this week coming up at Dinamo?
Caroline Springs, George Cross.
I think it is.
I think it is, yeah, because they played Heidelberg on the
Might be
weekend.
you. And Torchy is probably the single best commentator on NPL.
Oh, I don't
YouTube
know. Oh, no, there's some
channel.
better than me.
Oh, no. Teško.
Big shout out to Ivan Grgic, by the way. This is his first year that he's doing it. Maddie's son.
Yep.
Me and him co-commentated a few times, and he's an absolute legend. Absolute fantastic.
Yeah. And
Well, waiting for when's Matty Grugic going to start commentating? Sunday.
Only if he gets a
St.
free
George Cross.
tracksuit from Football Victoria, will he commentate?
3 o'clock Sunday, St. Albans,
go.
George Cross.
There you go. Marinko M again. No, Markovic. Tonchi is correct. All of us from Canberra are a bit. Malo. You got that.
Malo touched.
John Bilosh, special moment seeing my girls cry at the Thompson concert. So Johnny Bilosh, Vice President at St. Albans Dinamo, was there also. I've seen some of his social media.
All of your parents are a little bit weird, but you just want to see your kids crying. That's no, I'm just joking.
There's only one way of making you cry back in the day.
Yeah, it was okay. That was
Touch. And then you get belted for crying.
Yeah.
And then they make you stop crying. That's the Azaz plakat. And then they belt you even more. Oh, fair enough. These days, again, you're on a register if you do shit like that.
And we turned that all right.
Yeah. Ali, still, I don't think nobody has called in. I don't know if you people are scared to put your face on. Look at me and Spolge, for Christ's sake. Look at these heads. Mate, we're on it for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Can I just say we're really thankful that Tonchi's sitting down. All right, makes us feel better about ourselves.
Oh, no, he's the same height as us seated. Once again, I'll just pop up that screen grab, but you can see keep your eyes on that bottom ticker as well, books.by/ or books by, basically, books.by/Tonchi Prusats. It's a better commission. If the book is purchased, more money will go to Tonchi rather than going to some massive multinational.
So you can do it again.
That's right. But also, you can purchase it via Amazon if that's maybe easier, more convenient, etc. But we do have a copy that will be signed by Taunchy. Or Taunch, do you want to put a question out there? Maybe a bit of a tough one that someone might be able to answer. What do you reckon? What could we possibly think about? Jiva Jitsa. Who did Jiva Jitsa with you back in the day? And where did we do that? Was that in
that was at
Triple Z,
3
George Street? Is that right?
George Street, Fitzroy. That's
Triple
right.
Z, yeah, and that started
I
off
was more in the back in the panel.
CSA doing it, on a Tuesday night. Gosh, that's really pushing it back. And how it was born, far out. I think the 3ZZZ committee offered the students like a half-hour spot in English on a Tuesday night, that was amazing because we didn't have anything like that in the community. Yeah. And it was like we don't like these days podcasts on demand. You can get whatever you want, but back then you had to wait till Tuesday, and it was amazing. You used to hear stories that mums and dads and their kids were tuning in together to listen to it, and that's where things like Tef from St Albans was born.
There was another one. Now, speaking of St Albans Dinamo, Ilya Dragicevic, Steve Vukasovic, I'm pretty sure Vilson Knežević used to do a radio show out of that West End market.
I remember
on
that.
Sunshine, whatever his book, McIntyre Road or whatever that's Sunshine Ave. Used to be on some community radio as well. It was a crow program, Piss Take. Yeah, it was not Piss Take, but it was in English or whatever, and there was a lot of Zabansi on the show. It was bloody fantastic. I remember going there and fucking unreal there. So let's hope this new generation can come.
Yeah. Long after that, we did Chudan Microphone.
Yes.
Remember that was on 3ZZZ, and that was Mario Chabar and myself. Microphone because it was a microphone, Chudan because Čudnismo.
There you go.
But there was others involved, and Natalie Mushe was there, and Luca Kolenda, and there was a few people that joined on board. I remember that.
Yeah, you're bringing back a lot of memories. And of course, Shima from Sunshine.
That's sort of where Shima
Maybe
was.
of the internet, maybe we need to maybe get somebody from the Viestic to join me as a co-host when Spolge goes overseas. Big shout out to Michaela Gashi, who's doing some great work.
Fantastic
Michaela
young
is
talent
doing some
there.
fantastic work, and she was there on the
other day on
there, in the city, doing interviews and doing a lot of the social media punditry, whatever you'd like to call it. Bloody fantastic, great girl, great family.
And if we can give some of these people an opportunity, a platform to, you never know where it can start. Like I said, that we talked about the Croatian radio program in Geelong. I got involved with that by saying, why aren't you doing any sport? Do sport. And Ivan Chichak at the time said, well, if you want to do it, why don't you do it? And I said, okay, why not? Mind you, it was in Croatian, so I had someone that was like proofreading my Croatian, Biba Horvatic. Big shout out to her. And that's what got me kind of interested in journalism, for example, simply by presenting a little segment on radio. I didn't know it was going to last, where it was going to last, type of thing. But Michaela as well, like that was the first time I actually met her. And some of the other guys at the VSD, because a lot of the time everything's virtual. You do everything via email, via Zoom, via this, that sort of stuff. But I'm absolutely amazed by some of the caliber of some of these young people. Maya Radosh is another one who's she's starting to come out with some amazing stuff. She's now I think she's in Croatia for a month, and she's going to go to Edinburgh, I think, on a 6-month journalism exchange or something like that. But the quality of some of these stuff, and look, they're all a little bit kind of at first apprehensive. Am I doing the right thing? But this is where mentorship comes in. Yeah. Whether it's someone is wanting to put their hand up to get involved with the split soccer tournament, split Dinamo soccer tournament, or the folklore. That's another thing. The folklore is being amazing. Yeah, because what that's strength is that's bringing people in that otherwise probably would not be involved, because for them soccer's not the thing, or this or that. So there's all these things that are starting to happen. We just now need more of it.
And it's a different night usually than soccer training as well. They try and cater to that so they can capture as many, especially boys. When we talk about often girls are neglected in the community, or have been over the years in certain parts. Everyone, soccer was all about the boys. Folklore needs more boys. Yeah, folklore, it can go the opposite. Girls is booming at certain clubs across Australia. Crow clubs, girls soccer has taken off. It's absolutely go on gangbusters. Folklore, we need more boys. We need as many more boys as we can, and what a better way to stay in touch and to get to meet each other, grow together again. And there's stories, there's love stories and romance from folklore as far as the eye can see. A lot of people met through folklore. because you're actually in the vicinity of a girl, you become more comfortable in how to speak to them. Because us mushki are a bit dudex, most of us, and we don't know how to speak to people. But
and as parents with the young children, like I spent a couple of days in a CBD with my wife having a bit of a what they call staycation, and there's some blessings around. There are some maimuni, I tell you what. And the more and more you kind of realize that you want your kids coming up in a community where you can trust them. You can trust where they're going to go. Right. You can trust who they're actually going to be hanging around with or hooking up or this or that, type of thing. And there's a little bit of that protectorship, type of thing. You're starting to, I've got kids 14 and 15 years old. They're starting to venture out and wanting to go to these places. And as a parent, you kind of sometimes say, oh my God, do I let, especially my 15-year-old daughter, do I let her go? Do I let her go? But you have to, but at some stage, but it's good to know that there are these community events where they can go, all right, maybe they're still too young to attend these, but you know what? We want them to be around in 2, 3, 4 years' time when they do start to go to these sort of functions.
It's a safe, they always talk about the little catchword, safe space.
Yeah.
For me, a safe space for my kids is at a crow club. Because basically 99% of the people that are there, the sort of people they're hanging around with. Yep. Not only the kids, the parents, the grandparents. And we're better. And you don't always have to be looking over your shoulder. You go to some random place and you're looking, you go, there's people standing over there. Who are those people? What are they doing here? Is that guy taking photos of my kid or is he there watching his own kid? I don't know. Whereas, again, I spent all afternoon at Dynamo and they keep popping up. And someone, speaking of crying, because John Billish mentioned the girls crying at the Thompson concert. Paul Berkey has said, love seeing me cry when my son scores a hat-trick for Dynamo and have to shout drinks for everybody. So he didn't score today, hit the crossbar.
He scores a hat-trick.
I was running down the sideline like that bloke from Heidelberg because he missed.
Yeah.
Okay. Ante Kerlich says, have you got a link to put into the comments? I'll put in a link for both the books.by, the ticker you can see across the bottom, and also the Amazon link to be able to purchase via amazon.com.au. So in the chat on both Facebook and I think it might be Instagram or YouTube, you'll be able to see the link. But all you need to do is type in also Tonchi Prusats into Google, book.
Yep. Just amazon.com.au and that cover, the final whistle, it'll come up. Yeah, very simple.
Can we get an auntie from St Albans, Tonchi, from Dynamo again?
Who is this St Albans?
We don't know who's
Dynamo.
I'm trying to think who's drinking today. Who's
he or she concerns me.
Who's got control of the social media today? There,
it's been hijacked.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Here we go, David Kuka. Going back to the Ludnica on Ugljan, mi tamo ličimo cijelu Hrvatsku. And because of the location, me and a few mates are on the waiting list hanging to get in.
Well, they say people that hang around like nurses and stuff and doctors that work in psychiatric wards end up going to be loopy. So maybe that's the island of Ugljan.
Oh, that's true. But there also used to be a Ludnica in Zemunik there, so not far from my city. I've got a brother-in-law from Zemunik.
Explains a few things.
He's all right for the time being, but you never know, mate. They're just necking on a clickery.
Santino, who's been full of wonderful comments tonight, was interesting. No, it was interesting.
I think it's intriguing, maybe. I was trying
entreating. Sorry, I can't say. Because Tonchi was on it, Borg.
Oh,
thanks, Santino.
Appreciate it.
Oh, mate. But, plenty. The chat has been going off. Here we go, Johnny. We do have a caller.
Oh!
We've got somebody. Oh, he's dropped out. Try again, Johnny. It came just up as Johnny, and I couldn't quite see the face to make out exactly which Johnny it was. Ali neki se Johnny javia. Johnny javi se opet. Here we go. There's a click. Let's have a look who Johnny is. Johnny! Hello, Johnny!
Halo, momci.
Dobro večer.
Dobro večer. Znaš šta me muči?
Što vas muči?
Muči me Croatia.
Koja Croatia?
Melbourne. Fucking hell. I am so stressed the fact that we dropped those 3 points last week against Brunswick.
Yeah.
And now we're in a dogfight for promotion, for direct promotion, and we need it, and I want it. That's what's mooching me at the moment. It's really stressful because I want us to be back in the NPL big time.
Ali, big
You
win.
were there on Friday with the 3-1 win against Bulling.
No, and this is another thing, što me muči, is the games being at 8:30. I work every second weekend. and this was my weekend to work. So it's very hard for me to travel from Berwick to Sunshine for an 8:30 game.
Yep.
You know, the 7:30 games were so much better, and I don't know why did they change it to the 8:30.
Because I think they wanted to fit in the
Under
reserves
23s.
or whatever it is, under 23s. I was always a big proponent for the 7:30 kickoffs. Actually, in fact, the 7:30 kickoffs was my idea. So I'm a big supporter of the 7:30 kickoffs. I know it means that the under 23s lose out and they don't get to play in front of a big crowd, but you sort of have to weigh up the options and see what's better for the supporters, because I think the supporters are what counts the most. And I'm with you. I would much prefer to see a 7:30 kickoff.
Yeah, so that's the only reason I missed this one. And now because of last week's bye, it's now every home game is on a Friday before my weekend to work, and I just, you know, I can't get home at 11:30 and then go to work the next day. So it's a little bit difficult, but that's what's mooching me at the moment. And I won't even go into what happened on Friday. That was just a disaster.
Well, go into it. Tell us what your thoughts are. Why was it a disaster? What's your thoughts on? Is it just that final one, that 113th minute or whatever, 103rd minute, or was it something else?
I think it was just that we just, I don't know, not clinical enough. I want to blame that referee. I want to blame VAR, but at the end of the day, when you look at, you know, we probably should have scored easily two goals, but we should have scored more than that. We had the chances,
We did.
and I think that's what's been the problem for us in all of these tournaments, is that we just don't put away our chances. We have more chances than the opposition, but you know, you got to score goals to win games, and unfortunately, that's what is the problem with our national team. And I don't know if there's anything that's coming up at the moment in terms of talent through the national team, but you know, someone mentioned there's a you know, CroatianSports.com. I don't know if you guys know about it.
Of course.
Yeah, I love it. And someone mentioned we had $90 million of defence on the bench. And, you know, how do you have $90 million of defence sitting on the bench, and then you concede a goal from the smallest man on the ground? Yeah, big up.
Well, that's what, in Dalic's defence, a big chunk of that $90 million was what came on, and he was one of the ones who didn't jump up for that second goal. So
Mate, now that you've mentioned that there was $90 million on the bench, Hades is going to try and steal it. So, be careful about what we say in public. Johnny, flick us through your details, mate, and we will send you a copy of Taunchi's book, because you are our first caller. The book is yours.
Yeah.
And I'm also a member of the Viesnik, and I love it. So well done, Taunchi. I really, I subscribed this year on a monthly subscription, and you know, reading through all of the content there, I really enjoy it. I think it's great for us. Look, I can read, write, and speak, so it's a little bit easier for me. But for my daughter, who unfortunately lost all of that when she decided to go to school, and thought that it wasn't great to speak another language, and now regrets it. It's for English for her. So thank you again. It's really great that you have that out for us.
Good on you. Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you, mate. And thank you for calling in, mate.
Okay, your sentiments as well. Thanks for calling.
What's your daughter's name? And we'll pop it in the dedications as well.
Her name is Alice Vornich. I'm Johnny Vornich, and
Johnny. Yep. Beautiful.
No worries. No, thanks, Johnny. And I really appreciate you coming on and giving your thoughts and everything and being so honest.
Don't be like us.
No, because I know what you're saying, because we're 1 point behind Northcote City.
Yeah.
2 points in front of Brunswick Juve at the moment. So it's pretty tough. And we're playing away to Northcote City this Friday night.
Massive
So
game.
I know I keep saying huge games, but this one's absolutely massive.
Well, this is the one. This is the key. I mean, it was good that the other 21s from one of those A-League clubs lost today, which is good. So that kept us 8 points clear of fourth spot. So really, it's a three-way tie, a three-way race now. And you know, this week would be great if we can snatch all 3 points at Northcote. So
huge.
It will be absolutely huge. And yeah, I'm with you. I think we need to go back up where we belong.
And like I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago on when I sent it through. It would be great to see Green Gully go down as we come back up.
Mate, I tell you, we were just talking about it before we went on air. You don't want to be a prick, but I'd love to see Green Gully go down because culture-wise, they offer nothing anymore. You know, they've got 26 supporters or whatever it is there. They've got less supporters than Avondale do, I think, these days. And
Mrzim taj klub, mrzim ga od kad imam 10 godina. Ja sam sad 56 I mrzim taj Green Gully. Oh, I fucking hate them. I hate them.
Šta ti je bilo? What happened to you?
Pa kad je ošao, when Tommy Cummings went there, my idol, Tommy Cummings, when he went there, that was it, mate.
God.
So you know, and you know, it's hard, you know, as well. I lost my dad. It'd be 5 years in September, and you know, me and Dad used to go to the soccer, and Dad took me and my brothers, you know, from the age of about 7, and you know, then it was my turn when I started driving to drive him, and you know, drove to Sunshine every weekend from Berwick to watch the Knights, and so I haven't. So when Dad passed away, it was really hard to go to the game, and I've only just come back to going. So yeah, and I love what they've done down there. So it's a great venue now, even without you know, watching the football. You know, I'll go there before the game and have a meal as well, and I just love it. So I hope that continues to grow and grow. And the third party, yep.
No, Johnny, can I ask what the catalyst was that brought you back after? I know you said it was really difficult to return because it was that thing, that link that you had with your late father.
Yeah.
What was it that finally sort of got you back in and said, you know what? No, I'm going back now. Was it one thing or in particular, or was it just time?
Oh, I think it was a bit of time, but also I kind of like, you know, we got relegated, and it's a call to arms. You know, it's really important that our community get back to following, you know, the greatest soccer club in this country, and that is Melbourne Knights, Melbourne Croatia. And I think that was just part of it. Time and you know, really, I think they need our support now. We've got to go back up. We're too good a club to be sitting in NPL 1. So
There you go. That's exactly right, mate.
No.
All right, mate. Sucker.
Yeah.
Calling in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Thanks,
thank
Johnny.
you,
Thanks,
guys.
Johnny.
Thank you guys as well for the podcast every fortnight, and love watching you.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Johnny,
mate. Much appreciated.
So
Thanks
you're
for
the
calling
one.
in.
You're the one.
Ajde Bog, momci. Laku noć.
Yes.
See you, brother.
He mentioned a really good thing about, you know, his daughter Alice, and you know, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping will inspire people. Mum, Dad will buy the book, they'll read it, they'll pass it on to their kids. They may or may not 2 months, 6 months, a year down the track read it and unlock something within themselves, you know. And his dad's legacy was bringing him all the way from Berwick. That's
man.
further
That's a
than
huge.
for us from Geelong to get to Sunshine.
that is a hike.
That's a lot of commitment, you know. And now, you know, he's got his daughter there that, you know, hopefully he can pass on some sort of legacy to her. And, you know, if it unlocks something, that's brilliant. And, you know, this is what bringing our community together. You guys you ought to be congratulated, because what you guys have done is fill a vacuum, fill a void that existed in our community. We didn't have this type of, you know, you call it zajebancija, we call it informatica, you know, informacija. But we needed something like this, and it's become no surprise that it's become so popular because it's doing something, it's covering something that we at the Viesnik can't do, or, you know, the clubs themselves can't do. You guys are doing that on a different kind of level. So well done to you guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
George.
that.
Here we
Well
go.
done.
So Petar Finka, who's one of our, again, #1 fan. Gents, for the Sydney audience and Australia-wide, for those that are able to, the Water Polo World Cup is coming to the Sydney Olympic Park Aquatic Centre this month. Starting this month. I think it's the 20th. It says here 23rd. I think it's the 22nd to the 26th. Croatia will be playing Thursday, the 23rd of July at 8:15 p.m. against Hungary. Massive. They're a massive national team.
Yeah, they're huge.
World
Yeah,
world
arguably,
power. But the World Cup in Sydney over 4 or 5 days,
that'll be awesome.
you know, amazing. I remember was it in Melbourne?
Melbourne,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Sports Aquatic Centre.
So
Yeah.
Sydney, it's your turn. Get out in numbers. Support the Barracuda. Is that what they're called? The Barracuda
Barracuda,
is the
yes.
water polo
A
team.
good name.
what a sport it is, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
amazing
they,
in
them
real life.
Brits in there with the stuff that they do underwear. I've actually got a guy that work at my work. He's an Aussie guy, he's not even a Croatian guy, but he played water polo. He actually spent a year in Dubrovnik
So I mentioned him
playing the
today.
game.
I heard about that guy today. Somebody mentioned him there at work. Green Gully has got more pokies than fans.
They do.
It's,
They do, and that pisses
You know,
me
here's a
off.
funny story about Green Gully. Early when I started working at the VSD 1998, whatever, I came on full time, and there wasn't enough scope for full time entertainment, so employment. So one day a week, I used to do some advertising. I used to go out and search for advertisers. Would you believe Green Gully actually advertised in the New Gen in the early days for a good 3-4, if not more months? There's a fella called Charlie Farrugia. The
I started Farouja see.
Yeah.
No.
And they pumped a fair bit of money in those early days to the New Gen. So actually, you know, back in the
what
day,
were
Green
they-
Gully weren't bad.
What
Now
were
they're
they
mullered and got
advertising?
you.
What were they
Oh, they're
advertising?
pokies, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
pokies, yeah.
This guy Santona was there going Deutsch there. Come on.
There you go. Mariko
But-
says he loves Johnny's attitude. What a great
Yeah.
guy.
Well, I was just going to say that. No, Johnny's, he came in there, he was positive, he didn't knock anyone, just he's maybe, you know, a bit disappointed in the situation. But he's coming there saying, you know, we've got to get it back and let's work together. But I reckon there's so many people out there, so many people in our community who haven't gone to soccer in 10 years or 15 years or haven't gone to folklore or haven't gone anywhere.
Zapova,
But they're out
church
there.
even, whatever it might be. Just go to
but
the
they-
local church. Not saying they're non-church goers. They might just go to the local school church where their kids go to school instead of going to Clifton Hill, Sunshine, Springvale, Geelong. Yeah,
Because their kids go to that school
yeah.
or whatever.
It's Luxor, it's Blizzard.
Yeah.
You know,
But they're no less Croatian than they were 15 years ago or 10 years when they stopped going. Just life change, kids happen, families, or what have you. There's just so many, life gets in the way. And there's so many people like that who would return and go, oh, geez, I missed this. And you see that, you know, like it was, I just hope there's more people like Johnny that keep coming back. And I think there is. I think
We need to offer something different. Look at what Melbourne Croatia did with the night markets, the winter night markets. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't go there. That was the night Dinamo had a game, and I had to commentate. But I'm hearing they're going to do another one. Things like that, you know, you at first you might feel a bit awkward going there, but you know what? You don't have to go there. You don't have to now get a membership. You don't have to support this cause or this. Just turn up. That's all it is. And things like that are absolutely phenomenal. I think that's
different.
thinking outside the
winter,
box.
winter night market. It's
Absolutely.
absolutely brilliant.
And so, like you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. To Ludo.
that's right.
So you want to do
Madness.
something, be innovative, do different things. 100%. You've got to do that. You've got to keep it interesting for everybody. We spend a lot of time in the community, the three of us. Sometimes things do become boring. Sometimes they do become
That's why I'm
monotonous.
retiring from MCing. I think it's time for a new. Yeah, the novelty's worn off. I've had a good run.
Yep.
Yeah, I think someone can step in. There's plenty of characters out there in the community that can step up and do an MC gig or do fill in for you when you're overseas or whatever it might. There's I can name them. I've asked a few of them. People have been recommending other people. I've got to ask them, you know, how they're going to react. But you know, if you're out there, you want to jump on the podcast and be a special guest, you got free alcohol. I can offer you that, but you've got to be over 18.
I disagree. I like when you MC, but anyway, that's
Yeah,
fine. I
I mean,
understand when you
People now, the songs, for example, I can't. I'm almost out of ideas. I can't anymore.
Well, you've done some wonderful dance numbers in the past too.
I've got a song. I've got a song for you later. Actually, not for me. It's AI now. AI is maybe cheaper. Going to keep me in the business, you know. But Robbie Akordic, again, one of our great supporters.
Yeah, huge support.
Pozdrav, dečki. Evo tek, sad sam se malo smirio. Ljud sam već par dana. Jebem ti nogomet. FIFA lopovi, nogomet ste sjebali. Which is 100%.
It is. But then Johnny did mention as well, we had our chances. Pasalic had a golden opportunity there and he fluffed it. But look, but we got robbed. There's no doubt about it. The whole world's turning around. The whole world's coming around talking about it. Are we is it time for us to get
This is one that's popped up on social media a fair bit. Stop the VAR in Croatia.
But actually started saying stop the VAR.
Yeah. There's actually a video now as well where Modric is cutting. Who was it hair that touched? Was it Matanovic?
Matanovic, yeah.
Modric is cutting his hair while Dalic is on the piano singing "Stop the VAR in Croatia."
But it wasn't even that. Just see how many free kicks did Portugal get, particularly in that first half, and the other way around. I think there was pretty massive discrepancy there. Anytime they got pushed in the back or a little bit of a nudge. It was a free kick. We get nudged in the back, play on. It was just.
Taunch, did you have a curfew of any sort? You kind of wouldn't mind. It's any time. I could tell you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I have to get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, but that's okay, you know.
You've come to massive.
I operate
drive.
on about 4 hours of sleep each night, and my wife goes to me, "How the hell do you do it?" I go, "I'm a robot." I go,
That's what you're going to say.
I'm a
It's your
machine.
robot,
I'm
a
a
bot.
machine.
Yeah.
But
No,
no,
but
but
I
it's-
will head off. I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate everyone out there who even shows a little bit of interest in the book. I've been stunned by how many non-Croatians have. All right, I know a wide range of network of people, but how many non-Croatians want a little bit of a insight into our culture, into our heritage, into what makes us tick. Now, if non-Croatians are showing that much interest, even former Green Gully coaches and whatnot and that sort of stuff have actually reached out to me today. Amazing stuff, but this belongs to not me, the community, because that's what it is. It's an ode to our culture, our heritage. Maybe not so much the community, but the community is all about our heritage, our culture, and that's what it basically is. It's my legacy to my family, but it's also my legacy to the Croatian community as well. And hopefully, someone will buy this and pass that on to their kids, like Johnny to Alice, and that will be their legacy, or a snapshot, an illustration of their legacy to the next generation. That's all we can hope to
You
leave.
made this massive undertaking. If anyone else is out there that's thinking about that or has a story that's itching to tell,
is what I
what's
love.
your advice?
What my advice is, just do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Do it. Someone once said, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." And it's like, that's exactly it. Don't sort of look at the end result and say, "Oh, how am I going to do this?" Start slow, and you don't know where it will build. That started from an idea to give my son more of an opportunity to read, because, bloody hell, he wasn't reading, he was like more interested in graphic novels. But one thing led to another, and it happened. And you know what? Reach out to people, because there's so many mentors. I've had mentors that people don't even know they were my mentors. I kind of watched what they were doing or spoke to them and got inspiration from a lot of these people. I'll use one example, the Skorkos, Josip, Noah, and Luka. So there was 3 Skorkos in the one family. I had the privilege of interviewing all of them at one stage. It was interesting watching how they developed, or how they Mark Viduka, Josip Šimunić. I caught up with Joe when I was in Croatia recently. These people are just normal people. They're proud of their heritage. They're proud of their background. They're not, and the more the popular, the more the famous these people were, the more rounded they were, the more simple, like us they were. And that's what makes us Croatian. We're down to earth, in many, many ways. And I think if you decide to do something like write a book, you've got so many people out there that you can advertently or inadvertently lean on for advice. Just do it. Absolutely.
There's no shame, harm in asking.
No
harm in asking. Yeah.
Gents,
I don't
once
think
again,
anyone's
thank
really
you
going to
so
say
much.
no. Yeah. But Taunch, thanks so much for coming all this way to the Podroom from, like I tell you, I think it is called the Bellarine Peninsula, isn't it?
Oh, Lara, I'm right where North Geelong is, so right at the northern end. So I shave about another half hour from what those poor suckers down there have to do.
But thanks
So
for
I'm
making the trip in. Get on it.
The final whistle. Footballer's legacy.
Taunchy Prusats, also via Amazon. But get on it, buy it, support it. He's one of us. He's Čovjek iz naroda. He's one of us who's an integral part of our community. And let me just read here. Joe Lovrick, again, Robert Smolik, and Taunchy, great ambassadors for our community. Stay passionate.
There's that word,
Yeah,
ambassadors. And there's so many ambassadors out there.
And
for the
passionate,
community.
yeah. So you're passionate to this day. You started at the Viesnik so many years ago, but before that, you were involved in the community and all sorts of initiatives and students and Knights Army and whatever you could throw a stick at, and you're still passionate like I saw you 30 years ago. The passion's still there.
Because it's our legacy, we want to leave that next generation. That's what keeps us passionate, isn't it? Yep.
And we're all ambassadors for the community. As soon as you put on a top, you wear a Dandy City top, and you walk out in the street, the way you act, the way you conduct yourself, you're an ambassador for that club. People are going to judge that club by your actions. So, think about it that way. And we have so many people do it so well. And proud of you all.
No better ambassador than Taunchy Prusats. Thanks for joining us tonight, Taunchy.
Thank you.
Svako dobro for the book, for the Viesnik, for MPL commentary, for the Geelong soccer pod, everything you do. keep
And
it going,
stay
mate.
tuned for the book launches. They'll be coming up.
Exactly right.
early
Sometime
next month.
July, you reckon? Yeah.
Late July, early August. Yep.
There you go. So all our
Right.
clubs that are watching as well, if you are involved in any clubs and you want to have a chat with Tonchi Prusats, find him on social media, reach out to the Viesnik and organise a book launch there as well, so that our community all over Australia can get their hands on the book and also to speak to the person behind the book.
And
as
boys,
well.
I'll leave you with this last parting message from the book. A mantra, I suppose. Dreams don't come true unless you first experienced a nightmare. Bloody hell, we've experienced our fair share of nightmares. The dreams are coming. Don't you
That's
worry.
right. Dream's still alive.
Thank you, guys.
Torchy,
don't
thanks
worry.
very much, buddy.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, thank you.
Vidimo se i sretan put, mate. Drive safe. There you go. What a man. One, T. Prusats, published author, and I called him an identity. I wouldn't even, that's doesn't do him justice, calling him an identity.
Icon?
Icon, doyen. Doyen is what they call people in, let's say, AFL circles when they're been a footballer, they've been a journalist, they've been a commentator, they've been this, they're a doyen.
I've never actually heard that word.
So
before in my
whatever-
life, I have to admit.
Origins that word, as I'd say, French, but he's a doyen of our an ornament of our community,
Probably
basically.
because of all the AFL I watch. That's probably why I've never heard it. But
Exactly right. But fantastic. Get your hands on the book. I'll leave that ticker going throughout the course of the show. We're not going to go too late tonight, Spolch.
no, we won't.
had
no,
two
but what's
beers and
about?
I've had, I reckon, a
Yeah.
can and a half.
I haven't
or
even had
whatever.
two yet.
There you go. It's a condition jedno.
It's my second. But
So it is an
Oh,
RDO tomorrow. I know there are plenty of people out there that can stay up late, but me and Etchel Vichero, I reckon tonight we're going to be nice and succinct. But you know what it is? When you don't drink, the show seems to go slower.
it does.
You know, when you drink, and next thing you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're speaking to your solicitor. So, you know, but Tim Bullivant says,
And you only see the kids every second weekend. But what, have you actually want to talk about Carlowatz? Have you ever been to Carlowatz?
Carlowatz in passing.
You know, everyone drives past it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was saying.
No,
Actually
they're,
stop.
yeah, Carlowatz also, a lot of Crows towns share the same tourist slogan.
What's that?
Carlowatz, it's a great place to live.
I've never been there. I actually think I've been so close to it so many times.
Different to anything, I reckon, either side of that. Yeah, it's not Zagorje, it's not Dalmatia,
It's not Gorski
Kvarner,
Kotar. It's not
it's
Lika.
not-
It's not Banovina. It's not.
Oh man, it's
Carlowatz.
yeah, it is. It's and
Yeah.
picturesque. Some of the places around Carlowatz as well that I have been to. You know, if you've ever driven down the new freeway, or the newer version of the freeway, you've got two exits at Bosiljevo. And in Bosiljevo is the castle in which I believe Katarina Zrinski was born. It's been run down, it's been let go. But mate, what a opportunity that would be for someone that had some money
Yeah.
and a bit of nous to restore that castle there would be absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? Katarina Zrinski. You go to the Dom, you buy a schnitzel there, it's named Katarina Zrinski. She's one of the greatest women of our history.
Yeah.
Just outside of Carlowatz, you know, some of those places. Amazing.
I actually saw this show popped up on YouTube yesterday that I saw two guys bought a mansion. I can't remember them yesterday what it is in Gorski Kotar. And they got to redo this thing. But you see it's beautiful facade, but it's all run down and it's a huge thing. And want to turn it into like a boutique
Was it
hotel.
Brkopalj?
It's not Brkopalj. No, that's not. It's not Brkopalj, but it's not too far from there.
One of my favourite places in all of Gorski Kotar, Brkopalj.
Have you
Love
been
it.
to Brkopalj?
Yeah.
Really?
No, never. But if
So
you're
many
watching,
pictures.
you know,
My late next door neighbour, she was from Brkopalj, and actually probably hopefully drive through there.
and not stop
No.
in a stolen car. Tim Balba, did I mention this one before? How good is it seeing Zvonimir Folklore Group from
No, I
Springvale
didn't
traveling to Croatia? This is very special. One thing that Mepecha is, don't worry about Socceroos, but our own kids filling the NPL and our junior teams. There you go. So Spolge, you mentioned it early on and have over a number of episodes where why can't we fill one NPL team?
And before anyone sort of they just take that as having a go. I'm not having a go at anyone. It's not. This is not a thing. It's just why is this happening? It's a sign of times. What do we do to change it? I don't know. You know, but just so it was just an observation of it.
No, that's fair enough. Now, Spolge, some community announcements.
Oh yes.
Which and then we'll come back to another short Stotemuchi segment before we wrap up. What happened this week? Spolge, and I watched it on YouTube, as did many of us. Sydney United, Waratah Cup champions, I think now for a record 9th time.
There you go.
Quite a significant turnout there. It wasn't at either United or Apia. It was at another neutral venue, some 20-odd minutes away from Adenza Park. But United took the silverware, and you can see there 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fantastic midweek game.
Huge.
In the middle of a massive NPL season. I think they're currently sitting third. I think they had a draw with Blacktown this weekend. But the Waratah Cup is Sydney United's, which is absolutely fantastic.
So still flying, Sydney United, still
flying.
showing the way.
Then also Sunshine, where I was, when was it? Friday? We were both at Sunshine, and just seeing some of the work that has gone into the surrounds,
The landscaping and stuff that
landscaping,
started.
etc.
Yep.
the numbers of people that have been volunteering at Sunshine is probably
Huge.
unprecedented, I reckon, in
I think it
recent
is.
times.
I agree.
You can just see the look of the numbers here. This is people working on their roster day off. So some of these people do some pretty hardcore physical labour Monday through Saturday. And then when they get a Monday off, which might be every couple of weeks, it sounds like a lot. But when you're doing what some of these guys are doing, their form work and concreting and plastering and whatever else,
Working 12-hour plus
and then
days.
taking your RDO Monday and then working, rolling out hundreds, whatever it was, thousands of metres of grass and soil and levelling, and
4,000 square metres, I think it was.
palm trees have been dropped in by, look like a crane, probably massive. Suck a chance to everybody involved, Don Tormore and all the volunteers out there. Braća Radić in Sydney, I was about to put up this flyer without the sold out logo across the front of it, but they are celebrating 50 years, Braća Radić.
Huge.
Up there at Schofields on, what date is that? August the 22nd, sold out. Unfortunately for those that wanted to go, it is sold out, but what a fantastic outcome for Braća Radić to have their Zaba 50th anniversary sold out. Now, Melbourne Knights back-to-back championship gala. Let me just get the information for this. Tickets are now available for the Melbourne Knights back-to-back championship gala on Saturday, September 12 at the Dom. Join for a fantastic night of celebrating our championship success with special guests, great raffle prizes, a 3-course meal, music by Grupo Amore, and all hosted by Andy Pascalidis,
Oh,
well-known figure from SBS back in the day, and football fanatic, and also a man doing great work for heart health
yes.
at sporting clubs. Tickets are $120. Book online or call Sonja Franjic on 0400 330 508. Don't miss what's sure to be one of the biggest nights on the Melbourne Knights calendar. And some of the names that I saw mentioned that will be attending, there's a fair few illustrious names from the 94-5 and 95-6 championship winning teams.
Great
players
times.
I'm talking about. Oh, the best of times. Mladi Hrvati, Proljeće, save the date, Saturday, 5th of September 2026 at the Croatian Catholic Centre in Sunshine. So for those of us that will be jealous of our peers that are now travelling up and down the coast in Dalmatia and on sale Croatia tours and on the islands, etc., we're going to celebrate Proljeće here at Clifton Hill. Let me just skip past a pop-up on my screen before we move on to the next one. It should be gone
There's another pop-up.
fairly quickly. All done. PC App Store.
And
I didn't even know this PC had an App Store. Ali, Sveta Karta Zabava, Hrvatska folklorna skupina, Velebit proudly presents the Sveta Karta Zabava, Night of Croatian Culture, Dance, Music and Community. Save the date, 21 November. So still a while off.
Okay.
Keep it in the back of your minds. Prva Liga will be making their way up to the Croatian Sports Centre on Gold Coast for a massive Zabava there on the 21st of November 2026. So looking to be a huge one.
Big night.
Now, Mladi Hrvati also, only a couple of weeks ago, not even a couple of weeks ago, had a 90s trivia night. And you can see here the effervescent Elena Mulche in her Ali G costume. So it was all things 90s, and it looked like a great turnout as well. So Clifton Hill Sala, modest size Sala, but it has been renovated to the nth degree and is a fantastic venue
It is
for
now.
people to have some of their occasions there as well, particularly if it's church related, even easier to go straight from the circle into
And
the,
have it, yeah,
into
for
the
sure.
Sala. But it was a fantastic turnout. People did go out of their way to dress up. You can't see in that particular photo, but there were people dressed up in all sorts of 90s paraphernalia. And also just around the corner in Clifton Hill is a mural, a massive mural just down there off, Wellington Street, I think it might be. So when you come around that roundabout at Clifton Hill and you head down towards Hoddle Street,
Yeah.
or City, whatever it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
Queen's Parade.
Towards Johnson Street.
That's the one.
Alexandra
A new
Parade.
tribute to Croatia's captain. One was put up a number of years ago for the World Cup and was defaced, graffitied.
Yes, yes.
But Krešo Munivrana has gone out of his way to organise a new mural to be put up, and it's become basically a tourist destination for crows in Melbourne
There you
and
go.
those that are here from outside of Melbourne to take photos in front of it. It's a massive mural there in Clifton Hill.
Looks awesome, actually.
And our good friend Ivan Jurinovic, who was with us a couple of weeks ago, has been absolutely prolific in meeting and taking photos with everyone and anyone that is some kind of celebrity at the World Cup. So he was in America, or it might still be. There he is with Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic, the former president, who has also been prolific taking photos with everybody
Yes, she has.
over there. Here he is with Mateo Kovacic. There were more photos. I don't know if I've ever put them all up there. I've seen him with Perisic. I've seen him with Dalic. I've seen him with absolutely everyone and anyone. Also, our good friend Jozo Kolokušić, who was on the show
Yes.
only a couple of weeks ago, was part of a panel, Susret Mladih Hrvatskih Povratnika, which was the photos from Udruga Mladi za domovinu. So, mladi povratnici iz cijelog svijeta poslali poruku: Hrvatska nije samo mjesto povratka, nego i mjesto novih prilika. It is a land of opportunity.
Yeah.
It is a young, slowly coming into realizing what it means to be in a market economy, which often means opportunity. So those people that have got a bit of business now, I reckon, can do some pretty good things in Crow if they've got the ability, knowledge, obviously finances.
Could have you
Do
said that 30 years ago? 40 years ago? 50 years ago?
Probably
I
not.
don't think so.
Probably
So-
not.
so
Now,
that's
that's the photo of Spolge. You and I were at Sunshine.
We were. I saw
on
you right at the start, but just
Friday.
to illustrate how many people were there, I didn't see you after that because
Exactly right.
there was so
We,
many people there, and it was actually fantastic.
It was huge. A lot of youngies. It was massive morning. It was a long day. I worked the afternoon shift, so I had to start at 3. So it was a long night till 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
It was
I
good
can
up to
imagine.
Držati without drinking. Basically, I had a couple of lattes, drank a coffee on the way there. Maybe had a Palinkovac. Not even, maybe a hard solo or something.
Yeah.
Ali was a stretch to get through. But
Like you
Spolge
said, you mentioned the noise in that room. It was just
went off.
incredible. Incredible.
Oh, here we go. So Ivo Spanicek sends us a message. South Coast United versus Albion Park White Eagles, semi-final of the Cup, Tuesday, 7 July, 8 p.m. So 2 days' time, Tuesday, 8 p.m. This Tuesday.
I was going
Coming.
to say that's tomorrow. I'm so used to Mondays, but it's Sunday
Correct,
night.
Sutra, South Coast. So Wollongong, Croatia, South Coast United taking on Albion Park White Eagles. Obviously, a lot of meaning to this game, but also it's a semi-final of the Cup. So if you're in and around the area, get down,
Yeah.
support the team.
Absolutely.
Now, Spolge, again, you saw the earlier, was it the Što te muči?
Yeah.
There's still a couple of more things that me muči.
It's not too much.
Not too much. I'm not going to be too harsh because obviously I haven't had as many drinks as I did a couple of weeks ago when I Peludia about the multiculturalism of the Socceroos and all the other sort of indoctrination they were trying to force on us.
Okay.
But I think some other people have picked up on it.
Have they really?
Other people, and this is non-wogs. This is non-wogs who've watched soccer their whole lives. This is now the
Hang
mainstream.
on, stop. Non-wogs watch soccer all their lives.
This is non-wogs who've never probably been involved in soccer that are now
okay.
the
Yeah,
mainstream. I'm Richie, the outside.
Yeah, but now they're big soccer.
Now they've
people.
all of
Okay.
a sudden,
Okay.
but now they're turning
Oh,
and saying, what the hell have we gotten ourselves into? Because there is a new name being given to Aussie fans who are currently in the States.
what's that?
They're calling them Naamgroids. So Naam is the name for Melbourne in Indigenous language, I think.
Is
it's
that right?
Naam.
Okay.
N-A-A-R-N, Naam.
I didn't know that.
Naamgroids.
Okay.
Right? So this has now gone viral apparently on social
Okay.
media. And there's a clip a guy made, and he just goes, I don't know how I can support the Socceroos because they've embarrassed the
Oh,
country on a world stage.
Well,
A
they're
lot
embarrassed.
of these people. They have embarrassed us. They've done anti-Trump chants and all sorts of shit to embarrass
oh,
them.
there. Okay.
And
yeah.
anti-immigrant or anti-racism or whatever, some activist bullshit
Yeah.
at football.
Yeah.
At a World Cup.
Yeah.
And the people that they're saying are looking all very,
so they brought
very similar.
politics into it that had nothing to do with
They're
Australia.
looking all very,
Okay.
very similar. These are those, the downtrodden and let's fight for the working class and unite and all that. But they can afford $10,000 tickets to go to watch soccer in Dallas or whatever it might
Millionaire
be. And
socialists.
that's right, millionaire latte, champagne,
Yeah.
Chardonnay socialists.
Yeah.
This is a clip that came up, mate. Gave me a bit of a chuckle.
Yeah, like I really love sports ball and stuff, and I just every time a minority kicks a goal, it just proves that racism is not welcome here. Oi, listen, mate, if it weren't for multiculturalism, I wouldn't be eating my $20 banh mi for lunch.
I think you get the drift. But that's what they're calling now a Namgroid.
Okay.
You can see there's sort of some kind of, they've got those Salomon hiking runners or whatever it is. Socks are pulled up, hemp tote bag,
Okay.
badges of various causes, which they've got no idea about. Mullet,
Brilliant.
brkove, earrings with a cross in it, but they protiv crkve, drinking their soy lattes, finger, nail polish, some kind of beads hanging out of their pockets or whatever. That's the sort of, a lot of commentary has come that the Australian fans are looking like that. And it's people from the outside are going, it's very difficult to support. And they're always pushing this bullshit agenda down your throat. Yeah, I think I was ahead of my time in a couple of weeks. But then, you know who else is hard to like these days?
Who's that?
I'll probably get slaughtered for this. Hajduk Split.
Wow.
Marko Livaja got sent home in disgrace.
I saw that. Yes,
from
I
a
did.
camp
Yeah,
in Slovenia. He's back.
Do they know why?
Went out for a few drinks to celebrate the Crow team winning, apparently, with a few of the boys. Broke curfew. That's the story that I heard.
Okay.
They came back to training. Coach wanted to make a point, and he said, right, you. They went out for drinks or whatever, have to do laps.
And that Spanish bloke still got a job.
He does, but there's a meeting today happening,
Okay,
I think, between the coach, Livaja, and the president, whatever the hell he is, chairman of Neki.
Yep.
Neki Odbor. The coach will probably be gone.
Well, you can't go against Livaja.
No. So he got sent home, and then this clip sums it up perfectly. Now, this guy got absolutely crucified. Because if you say anything against Hajduk over there and you're anywhere in and around Split or anywhere in most parts of Dalmatia, you'll get crucified and chased out of town. But this guy, I thought was fantastic what he said.
Problemi Hajduka su puno veći od Livaje i svega. Kakav grad, kakva regija, takav Hajduk. Ako je narod u ovoj regiji retardiran, a je...
Ne može Hajduk biti normalan. Because they'll back a person, like, fair enough, Livaja has done a lot for the profile of the club and obviously came back at his prime and all these sorts of things. But, geez, how quickly things change.
You can blame the narod, you can blame the regia, you can blame whatever. But at the end of the day, you blame the people who are in control of that club. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing else. You can't blame anyone other than Nash Hajduk. How can you blame Ulic Savodi Klub? That's the problem. And that hurts me as a Dinamo supporter. I absolutely hate that. I want to see Hajduk playing quarterfinals, you know, of the Champions League and winning the Champions League. That for me was awesome. The mid-90s when all the... What's going on there? Why is it a different club? Is it because of the Regia? What, were the Regia Bilis Pametni 30 years ago? I don't think they were. It's just the people that are running the club, and it's a disgrace.
I haven't renewed my membership. Maybe one day I will, but it's just, I don't know, man. They've lost their way completely.
Completely. It's not the same club.
Football is almost secondary to anything else. Yep. It's everything else around it. The Grad is owed money, and then these guy tycoons want to take over Ukrainians, and then you got Livajas, and then you got this Moj Hajduk or Nash Hajduk Udruga that's pulling strings over here. Then you got Torcida fighting, and the whole thing is just an absolute mess. And they claim to be the biggest club, but that's what happens when they're living on legacy. Yeah. They're on that same slippery slope of like in 1994 Champions League or 5, and they've won the league in Kranjčar retired how long ago? The last time they won the league was when Kranjčar played for him.
That's right.
You can't live on that legacy. We're a big club. On what criteria are you a big club? Because you can get 30,000 people to come watch you against Dinamo Zagreb, and Dinamo will only get 10,000 or their average crowd of 8,000 or whatever. Does that make you a big club? Yeah. Or is it the success as well on the field that makes you a big club? Because if you're talking about on-field success, you're zero, nulla. Rijeka's won more leagues than you in the last 20 years.
I don't understand how Hajduk actually gets 20,000 people to watch him against Istra or whatever. Why? People just love the game, obviously. They love the game. But, why did 8,000 people or 9,000 people go watch Dinamo? Because it's boring. The leagues become boring because I know they're just going to win it. Once there's a bit of competition, you watch the people Zagreb, they wake up.
It's romance. You love the notion of what Hajduk is.
Yeah.
But the product is, it's rinse and repeat. You know what they do? Istra does well.
Yeah.
Hajduk will go in and raid all their players, take their coach, and they go, that formula works, let's just bring it over here. And it doesn't work because the culture at Hajduk is rotten. Next year could be Slaven Belupo, makes the Conference League or something. Let's go pinch 6 of their players, get their coach, and maybe you can't do that.
Yeah.
The culture, they used to be able to produce the best players in Crow. And look at that generation that I talked about, the Stimatzes, the fucking Asanoviches, the Bilic. They don't do that anymore. The kids that do come through, they don't get a go. They don't get a go, mate. No, Skoko and that, they win almost win the Champions League for the youth or whatever, under 19s, 20s or whatever it was. You get 1 game or 2 games a year. The best player, the top scorer, that Bacic kid ended up going to Italy playing Sampdoria's youth team. He's never going to get a run in front of some 40-year-old Rakitic or fucking Livaya and these messiahs, these James Hurd types.
Well, they're starting to get a chance. Gorka and that. What was that guy that was scoring all those goals?
Durdov's gone.
Durdov. That's
Durdov, where did he go? Poland?
Did he?
Or
There you go. I didn't even know.
Bezvez, you know what I
I
mean?
mean, that's a disgrace. And that's the whole thing. The Regia, as that gentleman put it, is still producing huge players. Livakovic comes in, Dinamo product is from Zadar. You know, or how many people have gone through that Dinamo?
All of them. Modric.
How many of Recycle? They've all come from Dalmatia or they come from the south. There's no shame in saying that.
Destination club. Hajduk used to be a destination club. People now avoid going there. Imagine now
if you're a father, would you send your son?
Bring your agent.
If you got an opportunity to send your son to Hajduk and you love Hajduk,
Yeah.
honestly, you love your child,
straight to Dinamo
100%.
every day of the week. Because if you ring your agent, go and go to Hajduk Split, what's the culture like down there? Oh, you know, you've got one bloke that doesn't want to run laps, but then the coach may have inevitably be sacked tonight because this bloke didn't want to run laps because he does. It's a Wild West. It's nekako. It's a circus, unfortunately, and I don't think anytime soon things are going to change. Maybe it needs to be privatised. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for that joint.
I don't know what the answer is either, but whoever's running it now needs to fuck off. That's what
they're
that
saying. Yeah, everyone's back in Livaya saying hopefully the coach and this chairman guy both resign after this meeting.
Well, you'd hope so.
But then you look at it, this bloke broke curfew. Went outside, the coach tried to stamp his authority and say, look, I'm the coach, you've broken the rules, you've got to run laps, I don't run laps, and now the coach is going to get the ass. It's back to front. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't understand it. It is split and it is different. The mentality is different in the south than it is in the north as well. Yeah, everything's a bit different.
It's not tolerated, you know. I don't know.
Ali
I
will.
don't know.
We
Why,
will
you know,
see.
why was Marmich tolerated for so long? He brought success.
Yeah.
People tolerated him. He's
Exactly.
a criminal who's this, whatever. Yep, all true. Tick, 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 tick. But didn't want success.
So I just made a prediction there that Livaya will stay, the coach and whoever the board members are gone.
Yeah, I'm that. What's his name? Garcia, isn't it? Look, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I can't remember that. What's the coach's name from Gorica? He's an ex-Hajduk player. He's actually done very well everywhere he's gone. He should be the one coaching Hajduk because he's actually a Hajduk product.
That's the thing.
I
But
can't
even
remember
they
his name
can't
now, but-
survive. Sometimes even they can't make it work. Tudor's been there. He won a cup, gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Favorite son. Favorite son. I don't know. I don't understand. We don't live. I wasn't born there, so I don't understand the full mentality of. I'm not from Split either. That's Split and Zadar are completely different to each other.
they are.
Like every other city.
Yeah.
Ali, that's a strange mix of who runs what. You got a committee. You've got. You had Goran Vucevic. Went to Barcelona as a kid, basically superstar. Couldn't survive. Rakitic can't survive. Perisic left after like 2
Rakitic can't
months.
survive.
Perisic, they begged him to come back. He came back, did the right thing, and he's
They crucified him.
chased him.
They
Rebic is gone. If
Rebic
Livaya
is gone.
goes-
That's it. Rebic actually had a decent season.
Yeah, if Livaya goes, well, what's left? They've gotten rid of, I don't know, Charlia's gone. Kulik, our boy's gone. The Aussie. There's 3-4 players, like senior player. Krovinovic, again, didn't have a great season this year, but gone. Who are they
Pukstas is
backfilling
going,
with?
I heard. Yes, is
Yeah,
Pukstas
who are
going?
they
They're
going to
selling
backfill
him.
it with? The youth that were coming through in that Champions League run for the youth, they're fucking gone.
Mario Tsarevic. Yeah,
Tsarevic.
that's the one who was.
Is he that curly head one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he did really well with Šibenik. He got promoted, and then I don't know, Šibenik lost the plot, and they got rid of him, and then they went straight back
And
down.
then now the
And he
shit
went
for
to
the league
Gorica.
or something.
Yeah,
Šibenik. They've
yeah,
been
no,
completely
Šibenik's gone.
decimated and scrapped.
But he's
Again.
gone to Gorica. Everywhere he's gone, then Mario Tsarevic has done really well. I don't know, but it's
But would he survive in Hajduk? That's the thing. It's to do.
yeah.
He's maybe been given a bit more freedom at these small. Look, some of these clubs have got bugger all supporters again. Great clubs, they do great things in that, but these Slovens and some of these, there's
Oh,
small
no, you don't
towns,
want
man,
like
it's
that.
corporate its own-
Look, honestly, as a when you're trying to be sort of objective and that, as an objective Croatian football fan, I love seeing when Vartex does all right because then their crowds go up and they bring someone. Even Istra, I love it when they do well because they start bringing. There's always 2,500 people
They've got
there,
decent
and
crowds sometimes.
and there's a decent ground. And even if they start competing in Europe, it's not an embarrassment. Go to fucking Belupa where they got one grandstand and then it's they've got like those airport signs all around the ground.
Yeah,
You know?
we'll see now. Vukovar is doing some fundraising to get a new stadium built up.
Yeah, you'd love it. You love to see Vukovar, but at the moment, Vukovar probably doesn't belong in Prva Liga. You know, But a club like Marsonia, you think, okay, that maybe they should be.
Demographically, they're
like,
a much, much bigger towns. Romantically,
Yeah.
great. Vukovar
Yeah.
in there is fantastic. Just to,
Zadar belongs in Prva Liga.
you know,
They're fucking what? 4
Šibenik
leagues
now
down.
doesn't exist. Šibenik's
Šibenik's
actually changed
gone.
it. They're gone. That doesn't exist. That club has folded, and they've had to reincarnate as something else and start from the very
It's
bottom.
ridiculous. And they've changed it that was it to GNK. They've changed it to
Yeah, something.
GNK.
Some phantom. Rob Mikulic says, Hajduk živi vječno. Yes.
But živi vječno, I know,
Ali
do
on
it.
life
And I'm being
support,
objective. I'm concerned for that club. But that's the whole thing. You can't keep just allowing it. If you really love a club, do you allow that? Then are you a supporter of the club? Or do you
Can't-
fucking popizit? You
can't
got to
live on
popizit and say
history.
this enough's enough.
History. Ne da je kruva, man. It's great. 30 years ago, we won the league against, we played Ajax Amsterdam quarterfinal. Fantastic. What have you done the last 25 years? Ništa.
Ništa.
All it's just a rule. It's a sramota, basically. And
You know? Go make Conference League and then lose to Maltese clubs.
that's it.
You
But
know?
that's my prediction, Spolge. Have we made any predictions over the last few weeks or last couple of months
Yes,
that have
no.
come
No,
wrong?
I'm going to make one
that have
prediction
come,
now.
not come right.
My number one prediction now. Messi versus Ronaldo final.
Messi, Ronaldo.
Because FIFA will do whatever's in their power to make that happen.
Mine is Livaya stays, committee coach, go.
Okay.
And what happens when you make a prediction that doesn't come true, Spolge?
Tell me.
Let's have a look now, mate. This may be a new segment coming up.
Neko voli umeko, neko voli utvrdo, a ja najviše volim jaje na oko. Neko voli umeko, neko voli utvrdo, a ja najviše volim jaje na oko. Jaje na oko, 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 jaje na oko. Neko voli umeko, neko voli utvrdo, a ja najviše volim jaje na oko. Neko voli umeko, neko voli utvrdo, a ja najviše volim jaje na oko.
Jaje na oko, ljudi moji.
I've got one question.
Yeah.
When did Ante Mrkonjic and Paul Jurčić take over Podrum TV?
Look like fucking Goran Lozanovsky here. I'm fucking see my gut. Did you see the size of my gut in that? Yeah, but the AI, it's still no good.
He
I
was
always
so
said
good. I actually lost a few pounds, so I was happy.
AI is no good. To ti je, što je ono? Drobinu ima na njega. What the heck was that? But that's our new segment. Jaje na oko.
So yeah,
You make a prediction, it comes wrong, own up to it. Well, we're going to own up to those two. I also made a prediction Australia was going to lose 7-0 to Paraguay.
Well,
That was my
was it?
prediction.
Yeah, but not quite.
No, no, but then that's another one. That's another whole.
Not quite.
killer
Actually, talk about
fish.
we're talking about predictions. Will Darlish stay on or not?
Apparently,
and if not,
he has taken a job in the UAE
Yeah,
at
that's what I
5
heard.
million euros or something per year, and Bilic is the front runner and
Okay.
has already been spoken to. Is that true?
I've heard the same.
Bilic, do you go back? Do you go back to a coach that had his go? Has he matured? Is that why they're going back? Because he's changed. He's coached in England now. He's
Look, his first spell, that ill-fated time where we lost to Turkey in 121st minute or whatever, we were playing good football. That was a good side. Then afterwards, we had high hopes and sort of fell flat on his face. So I know some said Kovac. I don't know. I didn't like the way we played under Kovac either. But
again,
so,
his discipline doesn't match
no,
the discipline
we're not. Yeah,
expect
no,
from the player. We're different breed. We're not German.
no.
Yeah? We don't play like Germans. We're not as disciplined as the Norwegians or whatever it might be.
No.
We're a different,
No.
looser, way of playing and training and everything else. Some people, you might have some that respond to it really well, and you'll have others there that go, mate. Imagine Kovac with Brozovic when he used to.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get a game. Maybe you saw
Yeah,
that bloke's
yeah.
off-field antics. Even though the bloke will run 20 Ks in a game, whatever. Maybe you see him
With
smoking
that
and
cigar.
in Gordon some coffee at 4 a.m. You know, he ain't picking him. He wants soldiers. He's like Nathan Buckley. That's why Nathan Buckley didn't succeed as a coach. He just wanted blokes like
You
him.
want people like yourself. Yeah.
You can't coach. Where are you going to find a kid like that these days, man? Like a Nathan Buckley, 1 in 1,000.
But do you want that?
Need to be loose, mate. You need to
I
be
reckon
fluid.
too. I reckon
You
too.
need a coach that's fluid, and I don't know. Dulwich must be that kind of. Dulwich must be just a great. I don't know if he's a great tactician, just a great negotiator, man manager,
Judge of character.
Yeah, and he's got them all into Vieira as well. You see, they're all going to mass all together as a group. They're all carrying. You see them all wearing kruns and that. Maybe that's the thing that he used as a unifier. Yeah,
They kill for each other.
Yeah, and the tactics. These blokes are good enough. You don't need to be coached. Really, just give them a rough idea. Look, we're playing these guys. There's the video. We've got to play in this sort of system. Maybe he's not as tactical as some of these other coaches. But again, who do we get? Stimart is on the market. No, thank you.
No. I thought they loved him over him.
Jakirovic, he's had a great year at Hull, but he needs a few more years. We'll see how it goes next year.
Yeah, look, he did really well, but I wasn't that impressed with him at Dinamo, to be honest with you.
Bielitsas and that, no, thank you, too temperamental. He's had trouble everywhere he's gone. Went to Turkey, svađa se tamo, Dinamo svađa se tamo, he svađa se with everybody.
Yeah.
He's a rough, coarse, crude, I don't know what you'd call it. Hard. Who else do we get? Who else is there?
Because he has to be a naš čovjek. He can't be. We can't get like a foreigner. I don't think that will go well.
Unless it's an Ancelotti or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, the biggest name of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ali, you get some mid-tier European coach, doesn't matter what he is or how good he's been at Werder Bremen. There's no Paltrojo. Now, but Ange Postecoglou is apparently going to.
Yep, he's
El Nasser.
To Strathmore Split.
He's going to coach Cristiano Ronaldo from Nunawading City to coaching Cristiano Ronaldo in the Middle East. Ajoj. Svašta čovjek mora vidjeti in his lifetime. Ali, yeah, but just the Socceroos again knocked out from Egypt. I was surprised they made it to the group stage. Yes, they beat Turkey, but dobro, they did. They're still banging on about this whole behind the scenes, what made them win.
Yeah.
It wasn't
but now that they lost to Egypt, there was a question. Yeah, is that made that it failed?
Oh yeah, because the goalkeeper now it was because he changed goalkeepers. They
so it's Popovic's
because
fault.
he made that 17-year-old kid or whatever take a penalty.
It's Popovic's fault.
Yeah, it's Popovic's fault.
Popovic's fault because he's not as diverse.
That's right. Let's celebrate multiculturalism when we're winning, and then blame the WOG when we lose.
Yeah.
Ali, him again. How good a coach is he? Is he staying on? I saw something, but I didn't understand if they were talking about a new coach coming in, taking him into the next.
They gave him a contract before the World Cup even started, which I thought that was odd. Why would you give someone a contract before you've even gone into the World Cup? But that's what Soccer Australia, whatever they're called now, Football Australia, gave Popper. So I go, okay, good for us. I don't care. Good for Popper, but who in the right mind does something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not still convinced on Popper. It took me a long time to warm to Postecoglou. I hated him from Hellas. And no matter how many titles he won with Celtic and Yokohama or whatever, I still hated him.
Yeah.
Ali, his results speak.
Oh, 100% they do.
He's been there, he's done that. Probably been hard done by in some places, Tottenham and Nottingham Forest, I reckon.
Well, does Popovich not get a go anymore? What, did
where
he
does
fail?
Popovich go after this?
He got him through past the group stage. Yeah. You know what? Not a lot of superstars in that Socceroo squad. I don't know.
Look, that's all over. Was it a poor call not to cap Segacic before the World Cup? Yes, 100,000%. Segacic will get his time in the Crow national team. I'll guarantee it. That's a prediction. I'll get Yaya and Oko.
So is Perisic staying? Is Perisic
said he will stay as long as he's got something to offer and he gets picked.
Yeah.
If I can still deliver, I'll stay.
I think so. Look, that cool head. You just there's something about him. There's something freak. Like I think you said it last year where you just go pound for pound. He's the greatest representativas we've ever had. And you have to agree. Like as good as Modric was, like, but Perisic got something, mate.
I don't know, man. I love that.
Yeah, so me too.
Me too. Like the Borbans and all that, again, that romance around, the aura around these players, the Shulket Borbans, all of them. Modric, everybody. Ali Perisic has done the big games, the clinch games, many, many times. So that's what Boksic did for us to qualify in 98. If he wasn't injured, he would have been the Perisic. He would have done it, I reckon, week in, week out. He would have, whenever we needed him, he would have stepped up. He would have scored. Perisic actually done it. Coming back he's come back from an injury, man.
Yeah.
Complete
I know.
He's
37 years old.
let go from Tottenham, went back to Hajduk, got chased out of there, went to PSV, player of the fucking season. And he scores the goal that almost gets us through.
It wasn't good enough for Hajduk, but he's good enough for PSV.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah, he's good.
Johnny Zayn Bilic for me. I don't think we have a better option. Petar Finka Stimac, the Hajduk, and Antonio Conte, the Croatian national team. He's a bit Munyan, Conte. He's a good coach, but he's that Italian temperament, that Gattuso.
Yeah, we can't. Like, Gattuso was always going to be a disaster.
Yeah, Conte as well. Our players, I don't think, don't react well to that.
No, I don't
we
think so.
grew up with when my dad used to curse at me and that. Imagine that Conte in Italian, he'd be some porco this and whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, again, one of these. Or the Southerners would say, I'm not taking this shit. I'm not getting out of bed for this. What about Chorluk and Orlic, says Tommy Gavran? They've been involved as assistants under Dalic. I think a perfect contingency.
I don't think they'll ever happen. Orlic got a lot of flack
Yeah, I don't know,
even when
man.
he was 21's coach. And
Technically as well, look, they were half decent players, but soccer brain. You know what I mean?
Chorluk, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't-
Sometimes he's like Dalic. He was an average player at Bartex or whatever the hell he was.
Well,
And
Alex Ferguson was an
decent,
average
like he's
player.
got a great record as coach. A lot of people still give him no credit as being a good coach. Graham Arnold's exactly the same. Zlatko Dalic, Graham Arnold. Much maligned, almost teased in the media. Yeah, Graham Arnold comes across on fucking he took Australia to a World Cup.
That's right.
Took Iraq to a World Cup.
Yeah.
And he's still cops shit
Yeah.
and saying he's fucking no good.
Yeah.
Well, Dalic is the same, man. Second place, third place, gets us through
They
the
call
group
him a
stage.
charlatan.
He's the poor pocket I made overseas in Split. He's a mate of mine that I studied with him. He's Canadian born. He goes, a frater. Because this bloke's not a coach. He's a priest.
But see how it bothers him. Like,
I'll go, look, but his results are there. Postecoglou too. I hate Postecoglou. He's on paper. What can you say that he's done that hasn't been a success? From Nunawading City, man, through Hellas to Brisbane Roar to Melbourne Victory to coaching Australia to an Asian Cup to Japan to Celtic to fucking Tottenham, Nottingham Forest.
who are the worst coaches the Croatian national team ever had?
Oh, that Otto Baric.
Otto Baric. Oh, no, what was it? Jozic, whatever his name.
Yeah,
right?
there was some.
And they were stručnjaci. So there's your whole thing with your whole stručnjaci, and it's except the TV repairman.
Oh, what was his name? Chacic.
Yeah.
He was from Bruška, I think, down there in Ibekovac. I liked him because of that. But that's the only thing I liked about him. Terrible. But hey, look, we wait and see. Maybe we'll get egg on our face. Give us 2 weeks. We'll come back. We'll make a prediction who the next coach will be, unless he's already been picked by then.
I think they're saying they've got to
I
sort
need
it
to
out
do
in
a
the
bit
next
more,
7 days.
bit more research and see.
Well, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Dalic's going to stay or he's going to go?
He'll go now. It's a good time for him to, like Modric, like some of these others. Maybe it's just time to, on his own terms. He didn't disgrace. He didn't go there and get spanked in 3 games. We were a luck away from playing Spain, and possibly, you never know, could have beaten them as well. And again, be hailed as a hero.
Yeah.
He's done his job. He got us qualified again.
Mate.
Got out of the group stage. For me, it's getting out of the group stage.
Results speak for themselves, don't
Get
they?
out of the group stage. You still bude. I don't care after that. Yeah. Ali, look,
Was it his fault what happened on Friday? Was it,
he didn't make
He
any
could
subs.
say-
He didn't sub the keeper for a penalty shootout. He didn't.
Well, he put Guardiola on, and he was one of the ones who let the goal in.
Yeah, and then he scored one,
But
which
then
got
he
disallowed
did
as
it,
well.
apparently. So,
Tako
I don't know, we'll see. But
Stimac, Stimac, the Hajduk, like, it's always a possibility. But again, he's a hard man. He's a tough man. He's a temperamental bloke. Yes, he's an ex-Hajduk himself, but Hajduk's changed since 1994-5 to 2026. Hajduk is not the same Hajduk that he played at, or even coached at the last time he was there.
I don't think he'll tolerate all that bullshit, do I?
No, but you can't win.
Yeah.
You can't win, yeah. It's like they brought in players there, like Rakitic is now. Like Boban went to Dinamo, he actually affected change.
Yep.
I thought he's not going to survive there too. That's a cesspool. That the Mamic is gone, the vacuum, everyone's pulling fucking every way, but he's managed to somehow stamp his authority and say, fucking, this is how it is. And it's slowly falling into place what he wants.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I don't think you can do that. Yeah, I don't think you could bring back Blaž Slišković there to be president and whatever, but there's still some sort of underlying problem there, culture that you can't fix. However much you want to and love the club and whatever, I think there are certain things where you just think they should all can say, look, what's he going to do? Butt heads with the supporters. They're going to put crosses on the ground, before training. And fucking firebomb your house or whatever, and you don't need that shit.
No.
That's why I was surprised when Perisic went back again. when they once called him, I remember the Siever or whatever, called him to come and stand in front of him like they do in Italy, when the hooligans call you and you got to stand there and you got to cop shit off some fat cockhead on the fence with a megaphone and you got to stand there and cop shit off this cockhead. Perisic goes, no. He walked into the dressing room. Everyone else went there and stood there and copped it. He goes, fuck that, man. I didn't come here to be yelled at by some
fucking
gronk junkie fucking on a megaphone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's fair. Didn't last long after that. But it takes a bit of balls to do that as well, because he's from Umish. If he wants to one day go back, he's obviously got to spend some time around that split region to stand up and say, no, I'm not wearing this. See you later.
Worst place in the world to live.
Tommy Gavran.
Yeah.
Dalic already agreed pre-World Cup to take over UAE, from my understanding. That's my Yahya Walker prediction, gents. Dalic needs to go from NHH. We need fresh start. Yeah, we
okay, yeah, that's
a new generation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and sometimes you can skip, you can miss. Your system doesn't match the new players.
Yeah, no, that's
has
true.
For this period, 100%.
But the bigger question is, who do you get to replace him? At this moment, I predict Bilic will get the job.
What other young coaches are there? Like younger coaches that might be able to relate more to this Baturinas, Vušković's, Gvardiol's. Again, it's a different breed, man. This is the Instagram generation.
I think it's Bilic, but I think he'll get that respect from those players.
Is Bilic going to be like that daggy dad, I can play a guitar and, hey guys, hey dudes, that sort of shit. It's hard. You got to adapt. Coaches have to adapt as much as players these days.
They do.
Like Livaya, he doesn't want to run laps. Someone needs to adapt. Someone needs to compromise. Someone needs to bend. He ain't bending. And if you're the coach as well, sometimes you can't bend the player. What do? Is he out? Is he like Kalinic? Send him home?
Yeah.
Or does that cause massive chaos and disruption in the dressing room and Sver Poshla? There was some rumours that Jackson Irvine apparently had some meltdown in pre-game about another player playing and why he should be in the team and all those sort of things. Who knows, man? It's big personalities, big characters.
There is.
What do you
Football's always got big personalities, big characters. Well, time will tell. But it is the beginning of a new era, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This post-Modric era. So he's not going to even go for Euros. That's it. He's done. He's quit the national team, or
who's that?
Modric.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So not even
plus games. He's done.
I think he is.
A good run.
Yeah.
Gave his all. Absolutely.
He
all.
did.
Imagine 200.
He did, and he got better as the tournament got on.
200 games for your national team. You know what I mean?
He's a freak.
That is ridiculous. What was the next? Who did he beat? Who's the next highest? Nowhere near him. Maybe Perisic, maybe now. One of these.
Perisic is next, I think.
Yeah,
Perisic
but before that, I remember like Schuker and these guys had like in the 70s or 80s. Obviously, didn't play for Croatia all that long because of the independence. But Joe Šimović had 103, I think, 105 caps.
He's someone like that.
He's double that, man. Double. And captain almost all of it, most of it. Yeah. Klopp.
Well, then talking about average players have become fantastic coaches as well. Klopp.
Exactly.
No.
Average of Mainz or wherever he played, and some of these guys.
You know why he works in England, the English mentality, and that, like you said, Croatia's different.
Craig
different.
Foster.
Craig Foster he's so inspirational. He inspires me to stab myself in the front.
Every morning I wake up, I go, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
An absolute jubre.
Yeah.
And I do pretty well. I do a pretty good impression, I reckon. He's gone missing off SBS. All the they're going nuts on the social media this week. Oh, Craig Foster. Oh, Foz is legend. They call him Australian footballing legend.
Yes.
Has disappeared from the screens on SBS.
Yeah, I know. What a shame.
They're scared, mate. I reckon SBS knows what's coming. The election's looming. So soon enough, the federal election, if they get defunded, they will jump at ship now. Or SBS is cutting the most extreme lefties so that when the new overlords come in, they go, you aren't as bad. You got rid of that guy. That's all right. We can keep funding you. But if you keep these people on, gone.
Well, let's see what happens at that election. I'm not convinced there's going to be a big change because I don't have faith. But anyway, Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. Mio Albert smashing Krofne and listening. Isus Maria. There you go. Bill Belichick. Mate, he's got away with the youngsters, hasn't he? If he needs to communicate with the younger players in the team, he's got plenty of experience.
Good on him.
with being 70, what is he, 72, 73?
I have no idea. I know nothing. All I know is he's a gridiron coach.
All I know that, I don't even know nothing about it. I don't even know he was a football coach. I just read the yellow tabloids and that and about his girlfriend being 50 years his junior or something.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so I think she's like 24 and he's
70 something.
79.
Wow.
Heck, significant
Really?
age gap.
Gotta have a look at this.
Ali, so yeah, maybe he's got away with the youngsters. He can talk to Baturina better than he talks to Modric. Yeah, look him up, Big Billy Belichick.
Yeah, he's 74.
There you go, and his lovely partner,
Girlfriend. Is Jordan Hudson, a former competitive cheerleader. Oh, of course.
Woo, go team.
Go, Billy, give me a B, an I, L.
And how old is young Jordan Hudson?
I'm trying to find that out. Yeah, Bill, or maybe I should put
There's got to be a 2 in front of it. It's
is it really?
Oh, yeah.
25.
25, and he is, what did you say?
74.
Yeah, just over 50 years between friends.
That's natural. 49 years.
Thought, yeah, so normal. That's encouraged in some countries.
That's
Spolge, 10:30. I reckon we have an early night
we've
tonight,
done all right.
because next week we're looking at a pretty packed show.
Are we?
We have already, I
Or
reckon,
2 weeks.
2 weeks, sorry, 2 weeks. 2 weeks' time, pretty packed show. We're going to have the boys from, or somebody from Crowfire Food up in Sydney. If you've followed anything on social media, you would have
You got
seen
to do
the
a
work.
demonstration or something. You got to do something to show us how to do it.
These guys do an amazing job in building peke ovens. They're doing seminars on how to make your own small goods. They're absolutely amazing. The work they do is world class. Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff in person and online, and that it is absolutely amazing. They're great supporters of the show.
Yeah.
Tony Bacic from Glenorchy, Croatia, Glenorchy Knights, has agreed to come on the show next week. So we'll get a bit of a taste.
So we
of
haven't
Tassie.
really, we haven't really delved into Tassie much,
Bit
have
of
we?
a taste of Tassie. So if we think it's cold in Melbourne today, I can imagine how cold it is down there in Tassie at the moment. But we'll be speaking to Tony, recently re-elected as president.
We enjoy a deep dive into Tasmania.
Yeah, nothing like Tassie. Who else have we got sort of on the cards? There's a couple of other people got on the cards. This lovely girl from the talks of her combined Maori and Croatian heritage.
Hopefully, if she gets back to, I'd love to get her.
One of the messages I saw on Instagram that you sent to her had Keels. I don't know if it's Keely or something along those lines, but that was recommended to us.
Well, actually, I couldn't identify what her name was. That's why I said, "Hey there."
Yeah, but we're always sending messages to people. Sometimes we've got to apologise and say it's out of the blue. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to have you on the show, but there's other people in the works. The Crowfire Food in a couple of weeks' time. Tony Bacic from Glenorchy Knights as well, talking to us about all things Tassie, which we sometimes neglect as a state of
we
this
do.
beautiful country, but we'd love to get his take on how things are down there and how they're travelling and how things are going with all of their work that they're doing down there as well. But if you've got any recommendations, like we always get, Petar Finka is always good at that. Grgic always sends us recommendations of who to speak to. If you think there's someone out there that you'd love to have on the show so that the whole community can see what you've seen, let us know.
Absolutely.
We'll get in touch. If we can get them on, fantastic. If they're local, we'll get them in. If they're not local, we'll get them on.
Because we want to meet them too. I want to talk to these people.
That's right.
You know, I want to get, because all these people we talk to inspire us. I'll tell you what.
We've got to get the stories out, man.
Absolutely. And I love it. The conversations you have, you go, when else would I have an opportunity to talk to some of these people? It's fantastic.
We've known Taunchy for 30, 40 years. And you still learn something new when you speak to them, let alone bringing someone in that you've never spoken to, you maybe not even heard of some of the work that they're doing. All of a sudden, bang, it hits you in the face and go, where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
You know, so recommendations, always welcome. Anything you got out there, feedback, hopefully I will listen to it. I never watch episodes back, nor do you.
No, I know,
because
I'd never do it again.
I've never gone back and watched anything. But hopefully the audio.
Some shows I've forgotten what I said.
Hopefully the audio sounded a little bit better. Camera hasn't gone into some portrait mode and that, so that's been fantastic.
Yep.
The ticker's been going. Get your copy of Taunchy's book. You know, we are well past the midway part of the year. The Father's Day is coming up.
Ooh,
Father's Day gift.
Isn't that September?
Yes. So
Yes.
Father's Day is coming up.
Yep.
Christmas is coming up.
Yep.
These are things that you can pop under the tree. The final whistle, a footballer's journey, legacy. Yeah, journey again. A footballer's legacy by Taunchy Prusats. Get on it. He's put a lot of hard work
into it. Don't get the
into
journey one because that one doesn't like a deep dive into
That's
Tassie.
a journey to San Francisco.
Driving Austria.
Great work from Taunch.
I'll
Thanks
get
to-
Don Tormoy in as a guest. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
actually.
bloody oath.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to come in. And that's one that I didn't actually get to upload, I think. But Don Ivan Matijevic spent a month. So Don Ivan that we interviewed when he was at Clifton Hill, then he came back again shortly at Sunshine. He now spent, I think, a month in the US. So he mixed work, obviously as a Svećenik, with the soccer that was there as well. And what a oh man, how good it would be if, let's say, if Don Veličansky Monsignor Bosiljko retired at Clifton Hill, if we can get
someone young
like that.
incredible.
Because for me,
That'd be incredible.
for me, not only is a priest and a pastoral carer and whatever you want to call it, but he's a nationalist. You know what I mean? He speaks to these kids and tells them, "Budite Hrvati, don't lose your heritage, learn the language, do whatever you need to do." He pushes it home.
It's important.
Yeah, and it's not banging it down their throats, but mate, he's a charismatic character. The kids absolutely loved him, and I'd love to see him back in Australia one day. But yeah, but there was it's a Vjesnik article where the Suzana Fantov has done an interview or done a bit of a story on Don Ivan Matijevic in the US, talking about his time over there. I'm not exactly sure what it was. It's Florida or some place over there, Boston, Netherlands, in the Sam. Zoltan Zolder said, "Is Vlado Vanish coaching anyone since he left Balmoral? Asking for a friend."
Yes, he is.
He might be coaching.
He's coaching the under
national team.
16s at Melbourne Knights.
National team.
Under 16s and under 13s.
I'm
So
not
he's
sure
coaching-
if Zoltan
he's there
means to coach the
coaching
national
them
team.
with Joe Dorinko, them
The
two.
national team, maybe, coaching Vlado Vanish, the Moose.
Saw him on Friday night, actually.
Yeah. He was, you always go back to that YouTube video from the early 90s. Like, Carl Wiert. He's unshaven. He's just like in a flanny in the dressing rooms. Good times. But other than that, Spolge, really, I don't think I've missed any community announcements that I had for tonight. But again, any flyers, any info you got, send it through. Sometimes we've got time during the week, something pops up on Facebook. I'll screenshot it quickly, share it. Sometimes you miss out on stuff. Send it through to us, man. Flick it through, podroomtv@gmail.com or via Instagram or via Facebook. We'll share it, whatever it is. Or text, like I got the Melbourne Knights via text. I got the Butcher as well. It was via WhatsApp or whatever it might. Any avenue, we'll advertise it. Ljudi moji, thank you for what was technically episode 10 of season 2 of Podroom TV. See you in 2 weeks' time. Full house of guests already booked in. Could be some more.
Fantastic.
Get on it. Give us your feedback. Javite se, slušajte, gledajte, watch it back. And we love having you on every 2 weeks with us.
Pozdravi, čač.
Laku noć i svako dobro.
Satavana iz Bodruma, Meraki, ja me opila. Boli glava, Areja, pogledaj karabege zanimljive, veseli se baja, on viče, daj mi viče. He was the king of the divan, je very dobar song. I am the king of the divan.